sponsors.
We're going straight. I think we're going straight in.
Great.
So 20-minute heats, 25-minute semis, 25. Oh my goodness, we made it. I mean, we're looking out above and beyond, and the sun is out. We have epic conditions today. Finally, the two components are coming together. Weather, waves, winds. I'm pumped.
We're pumped. This is the final day, and we're so glad that you're tuning in live. We do have action out in the water. We're going to get into the remaining quarterfinals, then move into the semifinals and the finals, Manny.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're going to start off today with two very fierce competitors. Your current world champion, Jared Houston, is going to face off with Alan Munoz. This guy, supercharger from Chile. The heat has started. 20 minutes are on the board, and we're going to go straight into the action. Take a look at the conditions. They look amazing. Glassy, I mean, sheet glass, sun is out. And if we can cut to a shot of the waves right now, they're pretty amazing. I woke up super early, saw the sun creeping in through the window, and I'm telling you, I'm pumped.
This is one of the bigger days. We've seen some pretty good sized sets. We're a little surprised that it's as big as it is today. Pleasantly surprised,
yes.
I may add. And we have solid conditions, really glassy, like you said, Manny. So we're pumped to get this going. Here's a shot of the people on the scaffolding event staff.
My goodness.
They're making it happen.
Rusty Friesen and I actually took the kayaks out. It was rainy, windy, and we're like, hey, let's go check out the scaffolding. We haven't been up there yet to see what the judges and all of the staff, I think there's like 15 people out there, see what the first-hand look is like from up there. And let me tell you, it's kind of scary.
Well, it's a gorgeous view. They have a killer vantage point. As you can see, they're raised about 13, maybe almost 15 feet above the surface of the lagoon. And they've got a great vista of what's happening right out in front of them, the world-famous Tehupo'o. And it's just awesome to see.
Yeah, that thing isn't going anywhere. Pretty much solid stuff. I mean, they got these awesome, super giant concrete blocks that are holding that thing down, and yeah, I mean, they got to break this thing down and ship it to a different reef right after this event. There's another event that one of our sponsors is putting on together next weekend. But again, welcome to the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. Manny V here with David Hubbard, and here we go. Quarterfinal, heat number 3 out in the water. Jared Houston, the South African, facing off with Alan Munoz.
This is going to be great. This is to see who will take equal fifth, whoever gets eliminated in this quarterfinal, and who will move on to a top 4 finish. First, a berth in the semifinals, and then from there it will be determined which final they will enter. As we can see, rider in red, Jared Houston, just dipping under that one. Here's a great look at just how smooth the water surface is, and we've got some good-sized sets. There we can see a very ominous dark cloud. Hopefully it doesn't rain on our parade.
I know. If you've been watching some of the earlier days of the live feed, you saw that, man, being in the tropics, things can change within seconds. And the last 2 broadcasts, we had to shut it down like almost instantly because the storm just rolled in, and it got kind of sketchy, but we wanted to make sure all the electronics were safe so we can keep running and make sure we have everything ready to rock for this day, the final day of the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge.
Just 6 heats away from crowning our champion. We haven't had a Tahiti Challenge champion in 13 years since our last event in 2003. So we're getting closer and closer to crowning that champion of this historic event.
Yes, and the sun is bringing out all the mosquitoes and flies and what other animals are waking up to the sun. We're bringing you live action out in the water. We have heat number 3. I'm looking Jared Houston, Alan Munoz, followed by a Tahitian. There's 2 Tahitians currently in the event still.
Right. Yep.
The furthest any Tahitian bodyboarders have gone in the last three events, this will be the fourth event here. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see that last quarterfinal, Angelo Ferrere going against the one and only Jeff Hubbard.
Yeah, that's very excited. Both of them are sitting in the channel. They're anxiously awaiting and watching this heat in the water. We see that Jared Houston has a short score on the board, so he started his campaign. Alan Munoz now sitting with priority.
Yes, again, we are going to finish off the quarterfinals with 3 and 4, 3 in the water, and then we're going to jump into the semifinal. Semifinal number 1 has already been set. The other Tahitian, the Tahitian that has made it furthest in this event so far in the last 4 events, it is the Tahitian Cedric Estal. He will be facing off with Mike Stewart in semi number 1. Look at this. Looks like we got a little bump out on the outside. They're chilling in the channel?
That's Jeff in the next heat sitting there, and they're out the back. You can see him.
Okay, so we saw Revatua. Revatua has been interviewing a lot of the riders coming out of their heat, and we thought we were going straight to that, but there's another epic view of the conditions right now. Looks like some offshore winds blowing into this semi-glassing conditions. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm looking at the flags. Flags look like they're blowing in the wind. What do you see?
No, I'm just here present, just taking it all in. And speaking of that semi-final coming up, Mike Stewart, Cedric Estal, I gotta tell you, Cedric, such a calm, collected fella, super chill fella. Here we see Jared paddling, no go there, but I did get a chance to hang out with the Estal Ohana, or family, last night when paid them a visit. Just kind of saw how Cedric was preparing. It was actually his father who was very excited, very joyous, and just so thrilled at the opportunity for his son, who was born and raised right here in Tehupo, to have the honor to kind of hold down the spot. Is kind of what he was saying, He's a local. He's, this is his spot. So let's see if Jared takes this one.
Oh, it looks like Jared Houston on a sick one. Nice extended roll right there. Gets projected out into the flats, and he bails in front of the whitewash. So not a bad way to start off. And well, that will be his second wave. So clean maneuver through the lip roll for Jared Houston, the South African. Now, Alan Munoz with priority. Quick little insight on the whole priority system for those of you that are just tuning in. Dave?
So what happens is once priority has been established, so we start the heat without priority, but once a rider catches a wave, the rider who didn't catch a wave is held in the priority position, and the way you lose priority is by paddling for a wave. So it just toggles between whoever paddles, and also that's like a successful paddle if you paddle and actually catch a wave, or even if you just paddle to attempt to catch the wave. Mind you, your competitor, you can only lose priority if the other competitor is actually in the lineup area. So let's say Alan quickly paddled for a wave right after Jared had cut out of his wave. Jared wouldn't have been in a position where he could regain priority at that point because he wasn't in the lineup. So that's how priority seems to work these days, and we're so glad to have this system. Jared Houston starting off his campaign with a 6.0. Here is our other quarterfinalist coming up in quarterfinal number 4, Angelo Ferrere, and he is eagerly awaiting his opportunity to take on his favorite bodyboarder, he says, my brother, Jeff Hubbard.
Yeah, we were all sitting at the dinner tables, and it's been pretty cool right here with the staff and the entire local staff and the APB World Tour staff sitting together in this community dinner. It's pretty epic to see that. And here's another look of Jared Houston. Nice through the lip roll, perfectly executed, lands out in the flat with a ton of speed, but could not make it around that section. But the judges giving it a 6.
Very smart surfing, I feel. That's surfing a smart heat for Jared. This is still a 20-minute heat, so he was sitting under priority, and the opportunity came. He probably knew that it was just kind of section ahead of him, kind of close out, but he saw that he had the opportunity to do a lip move, and he was able to be awarded a good score for it, 6 points. So that's a great score to hold on to at this point, because we are well into the heat, only 7.5 minutes remaining. So Alan Munoz sitting with priority, yet to even catch a wave. Jared Houston, I would say, has the advantage, even though Alan Munoz is holding priority.
Here we go. Oh, no. Jared Houston opting to give a little smaller wave on the inside again. Oh, goes for a backflip there. Can he pull it around? Oh, I don't know. This front angle that we're going to be seeing throughout the day is the best view that you're going to have, and that's the view that the judges are going to be looking at too. That side angle, pretty awesome, looking into the barrel, but to see the entire wave, we'll be cutting to this view right here. So Jared Houston going for his third wave, as Alan Munoz is still standing by, waiting to get his first wave, and we're already 15 minutes in.
Yeah, this heat is really moving fast-paced right by us. The time seems to be ticking faster and faster as we move through these heats, especially when this heat, it is a little bit slow. We're expecting the conditions to improve throughout the day, so starting off just a little bit slow, but I would add that where we left off in the quarterfinals, quarterfinal number 2 had just rank, heinous conditions. So these riders have to be stoked that they didn't have to paddle out 2 days ago in the afternoon when it was just a basic storm.
Exactly.
And so it's clean. It may not be super consistent, but clean opportunities to do some lip moves. Jared Houston already going for it. He did end up completing that ARS, deemed by the judges to have been a successful ride, 7.1. So now he's in a solid position in this heat as we start ticking down. Under 6 minutes remaining. He's got 13.1 cumulative. Let's take another look at this. Again, he's under priority, has nothing to lose by staying busy. Here he just eyes up this section, gets a nice clean hit on that lip, throws the backflip. Really critical section there. As you can see, there's tons of lip and whitewater splashing around him, and it was a successful ride. Oh, we do have the land angle, and let's take a peek at the completion here. So a critical move for sure, and a complete ride. So here he's staying busy. He's going again.
All right, looks like Jared Houston on a big backflip. Oh my goodness, just getting annihilated as he landed, and his whole body just detonated. Alan Munoz answering back, coming off the bottom. Oh, and gets chopped right before he comes up for the lip. Jared Houston, oh my.
That was a solid backflip attempt. Very critical section. We saw that he free fell quite a fair distance.
Oh.
He's lost the board. Hopefully he's got both his fins on still. He's going to be retaking his board. He has a backup board in the channel. So he is making his way back out. And hopefully someone will be able to rescue that other board. Here's the replay. Look at that big, clean backflip. And he just tried to turn it around right at the end. So critical. Here he's got a great projected backflip, super clean hit.
Oh my goodness.
That free fall was massive. And you can see he did get buckled.
Wow, that was insane. But, I mean, that is the level of physical fitness all these bodybuilders are at, top level. And any other bodybuilder, I tell you right now, my back would probably been broken in half if I even tried that maneuver and it landed. But Jared Houston, super fit, and is able to just bail his board and head to the boat to grab his backup.
So it will be great if somebody retrieves that board for him, but he's in the middle of a heat. He's battling to make the finals. He's going to try to move into the semis first, where it'll determine which final he ends up in, whether it's the podium final to battle for third and fourth, or whether it's the grand final to battle for first and second. Just approaching the 3-minute mark. I do hear the jet ski behind us. I do think that could be a board delivery taking place. Alan Munoz was able to return to the lineup and reestablish priority, but he only gets awarded a 1.0 for his last ride, as he did just trim before cutting out. And
wow. What an amazing way to start the day. But Alan Munoz, he's better. He has to wake up. I mean, he's got 2 minutes remaining, but oh man, he only has a one wave worth 1 point. That's not going to be enough to even get going. He's got 2 minutes. Alan Munoz falling into that trap where he's waiting for the bigger, better waves, and it's not happening. So Alan Munoz, it's still not over. Even if he gets a 10 on his next wave, he still has a little bit of time to get back out there and get another score. But, I mean, that's a miracle.
Combination situation. And so even if he doesn't get a 10, a combination equaling or bettering 13.1 could bring him a victory with 2 minutes remaining. So a pair of 7s, that could do it. He doesn't necessarily need the 10.0.
Exactly.
But 10.0 wouldn't hurt, because then he'd only need a 3.11, or even a 3.1 I think would do it. So we are just entering the final moments of this quarterfinal heat number 3, first heat of the day on this final day of the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. Here we see a competitor who was making a solid showing. He has actually had a great free surf. Garth McGregor, he had a killer barrel with a huge backflip early this morning. Kind of really cemented the idea to the event organizers that, oh, it's definitely good enough. We are on, and that's exactly what's happening right now. We're bringing you live the final heats of the day.
All right, Alan Munoz answering back. What can he do? Medium-sized wave, comes off the bottom with a ton of speed. He's got to put something together. Giant backflip, and he gets tangled up in the whitewash. Can he pull it around? No. That could be it for the Chileno. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back on his board and paddle back out, but oh my goodness. I know for a fact right now Begonia and the Groms in Erizos in Chile are just cringing seeing their Chilean countrymen falter in this quarterfinal. Here's another look.
So you can see this wave isn't very large out the back, but it really stands up once it hits this inside reef section. He gets nice clean line up there, has to push through just a little bit of lip that kept him from projecting too much further out past the lip line, and the breaking wave just totally chases him down and just basically crushes his hopes of getting a good score.
So that was pretty much his last ditch effort to get anything going, and it probably wouldn't have been enough with priority in Jared Houston's hands. Jared probably would have used this strategy of having that priority and sit on Alan the rest of the heat. But I think that might be it right there. Jared Houston, the South African, will advance on and taking one of the 2 spots in the semifinal number 2. Alan Munoz on the inside right there, just super bummed out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for quarterfinal number 4 right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Quarterfinal number 4 out in the water. Angelo Ferreira, the Tahitian, bottom turning, trying to slide under the pocket, gets into that barrel, comes out nice and clean, trying to hold onto that speed with his rail, and pulls off a roll on the inside. Looked like the whitewash was getting the better of him, but Jeff Hubbard up and riding.
He's on a nice looking wave, nice clean barrel, gets spit out. Here he comes to the inside. He's kind of elated, and he's going to return back to the outside probably before Angelo gets a chance to and regain priority. It's a good start for both of our competitors. They would have been watching and seen that the last heat was pretty slow. They wanted to get their campaign started early.
Yeah, we've seen this pretty much throughout the entire contest, where a slow heat would happen, and then the following heat would just be roaring with sets, 2 to 3 big sets rolling in through for that second heat. And lucky for Jeff and Angelo, this could be that heat.
Yeah, they're definitely both hoping that. They want to perform. They've made it here to the final day of competition. We're going to be crowning a champion.
And it looks like, yep, here we go.
Yeah, I waited like 5 minutes out of wave, so decided kind of at the 5-minute mark to just catch anything I could just to try and make an advance in the heat, and it paid off. You know, I had 2 small scores, a 5 and a 7, but it was enough in the end because Alan just couldn't get anything.
Okay, and how was your best wave? And I've seen you lost your board.
Yeah. So I had a pretty cool bowl towards the end of the heat. It felt pretty big backy, but just wasn't able to hold on, and board just ripped straight up, went across the reef, didn't even think twice, just sprinted back on the channel, and luckily the boys had my backup board there for me, so yeah, stoked with that one.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations again, and see you soon.
Yep.
So I was.
Well, Jared Houston is pumped. He moves on to semifinal number 1. Out in the water, what do we got?
Jeff Hubbard getting an 8-point ride. He's regained priority. Angelo on screen, still making his way back out after his 5.83. Both competitors getting on the board early with some of the better waves that we've seen thus far since we've started off this final day.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. We have culminated we culminated 4 days of action, and we're going to end here with the final at the end of the day, probably before lunchtime here at Tahitian local time. And the food here has been amazing.
Food here has certainly been amazing. Poisson cru and plenty of breadfruit.
Yes, I actually was introduced to breadfruit, actually, I want to say for the first time here, but my memory could be wrong.
But everybody who has been introduced to it has been just inquiring, where can I get it back where I live? Some places probably won't be able to get it anytime super soon, but there are various places where you can get it in mainland America. So for yourself and a few others, it could be possible.
I'll be totally on the hunt for breadfruit when I get home. But right now it's Angelo Ferreira who's on the hunt for a 2.18, his second wave. Both of them only have one wave, and that 2.8 will get him in ahead of Jeff Hubbard. But Jeff Hubbard's 8-point ride, solid.
Great way to start very early on. Let's relook at Angelo's approach. You noticed the heat before was slow. Here he takes off on a small one. He gets stuck at first. Then he gets the first tube ride of the day up to that point. Now he fishes around. The lip just kind of toggles with his feet a little bit. He re-engages his rail. Let's check this angle. Here there's whitewater. He muscles ahead of it. Gets a nice little cover up. Sweet little ride. There's the lip landing on his feet. He is able to handle that. Regain control. Gets right up there for a lip move. I was impressed with this ride, Manny. I thought that was a very smart way to start. But here's Jeff Hubbard with his 8-point ride.
Yeah, Jeff got super deep on that one, came out very clean, and was able to, impress the judges by holding on and hitting the brakes right there to try to stay in the barrel as long as he could and make a clean exit. And that's what the judges were looking for. And you can see a lot of the riders, they start as they're coming out of the wave, and to avoid getting closed out on, they actually move higher up the face of the wave to get it out of the barrel cleaner.
For sure, and especially too, one thing they have to negotiate, and we saw it there, was the shockwave. And so you need to be facing your board at the right angle so that when the shockwave hits you, and when I say shockwave, I do mean the explosion that happens within the barrel. Notice the explosion when the lip hits the surface of the water.
Yep.
During a barrel, it bounces on the outside, and we see a lot of explosion whitewater on the outside, but there's also action happening within the tube as well. And when you're riding these barrels, there is a shock wave that you have to negotiate, especially thick hollow sections like the one that Jeff Hubbard was just awarded his 8-point ride on. And we saw that he just gets bobbled just at the end of that, showing that he probably couldn't have been too much deeper. Another great sign of a good barrel was that spit that we saw, Manny.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff negotiated perfectly, and he's Angelo taking a look right there. Again, Angelo, one of 2 Tahitians currently still in the event, with Cedric Estal waiting patiently in semi number 1 with Mike Stewart. That's going to be coming up right after this heat. That's going to be a fun one to watch too.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. All the Tahitians' eyes are going to be on it, as well as anybody who's a fan of bodyboarding in general, seeing the godfather of the sport, Mike Stewart, taking off against the local of Tehupo'o, Cedric Estal. It's going to be a great battle. But
Ooh.
there, Mike's getting ready. Mike's been preparing all morning for this moment. He is super stoked to be in the final 4, we could say, because he will be getting a top 4 finish here at Tehupo'o. Being in the first semi, he will be moving on to one of the finals, whether it's the grand final to battle for first and second, or whether it's the podium final to battle for third and fourth. So top 4 finish for both Mike Stewart and Cedric Estal. They are pumped.
Well, Mike Stewart, as you know, living legend, 52 years old. This is his 4th appearance, and he's been at every single Tahiti event that they've held here, and he's no stranger to any of the components, whether it's the competition or the wave itself. So it'll be interesting if this could be his year where he walks away with the title of the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge.
We'll see if 4th time is the charm, and like you said, he could be the competitor to have entered this event more than anyone else, with his 4th appearance being today and this week at the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. But like you said, experience. Probably one of the most experienced competitive wave riders that we know about, especially in bodyboarding, for sure, but also plenty of experience at this spot. Let's take this break in the action as an opportunity to thank the sponsors that have helped to put this beautiful event together: Vairao Surf Club, OPT, FTS, Air Tahiti Nui, TNTV, TBS5, the entire Tahitian government. Really important that we have their support. Thank you so much. The sports minister has been integral in that capacity to get the government behind us and allow us some of the resources we need to run here. Also, ISS, Bodyboard King, JG Bodyboards, our forecast sponsor, Magic Seaweed, media partner, U Riding, and of course our title sponsor, Sparkgreen, for putting on this Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty stoked. All these sponsors have come together to have us here, and I got to say that this has been a pretty awesome organized event. We had to deal with Mother Nature, but you know what? She's in control everywhere you go in the world, and it could have been, like I always say, it could have been worse. We're actually pretty stoked right now on this final day. We got a little texture on the water, but we do still have some waves coming in. And sure, it's not super consistent, but when the waves do come in, riders are throwing it down. Now waiting patiently. Woo, both of them with 1 wave under their belts. Still a contestable heat out in the water with 9 minutes remaining.
Right, as we enter the second half of this heat, it does look like those scores that they have on the board will likely remain in their score line. So now they're looking to get their second score. For Angelo, he's going to want a big score because Jeff has that 8. And for Jeff, he might just be looking for a backup wave at this point. So very interesting battle on our hands, and just very interesting way that this final day is kicking off.
And if you're just joining us, we already had 1 heat that has been completed. That was quarterfinal number 3, where Alan Munoz unfortunately fell into that twilight zone where no waves came in for him. And Jared Houston somehow found every single good rideable wave through there. So Jared Houston, he advanced on into semifinal number 2. Waiting patiently in the channel is semifinal number 1, Cedric Estal, the Tahitian, going against Mike Stewart. But currently out in the water, this is your situation as you see on the top left of your monitor. Big shout out to everybody for tuning in to this last and final day of the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. And those of you who want to reach into the booth and say what's up, not only to Dub and I, but to the rest of the world, go ahead and put your name and your location where you're tuning in from in the comments box below the live feed. Eric in South Africa, Kai in Australia, Daniel in Gran Canaria, ARS Bodyboard crew in the UK, Mike D and Pismo. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, the last day winding down here in Tahiti.
And in this second heat, let's take a note of the scores that we've seen thus far. That 8 by Jeff, that's been the highest score thus far today.
Yep.
But remember those backflips by Jared Houston. He was able to get a nice roll, a nice backflip, but it was that incomplete backflip that's been the biggest maneuver of the day. Deemed incomplete,
Massive.
only a 3-point for that. But there are scores out there for sure. Here we see the priority game in effect. Jeff Hubbard's sitting with priority. He's in a good position. He's going to be mindful of what Angelo is looking for as far as when waves do come in, but at the same time, he knows what a good wave is out there. He's going to want to make sure he's on the next best good wave.
Oh, Jeff dropping in on this one, comes around the section. I'm wondering if he took that wave just to maybe fend off Angelo, who was probably in a slightly inside position, may have gotten barreled, but again, that wave closed out at the very end.
Right. Very interesting the way that went down. To me, I don't think Angelo had access to that wave. Jeff took a note of that, saw that he was too far inside, but at the same time, he saw that it was a set wave. He was kind of thinking maybe I could get that roll off like Jared did.
Yeah.
And here is Angelo making use of his priority, going on a smaller wave, getting a spin before trying to tuck into that barrel. Incomplete.
Well, that was interesting. I mean, he had priority. He had 6 minutes, and he could have waited for a bigger wave. Here's a live action, Jeff Hubbard.
He's tucking into a nice barrel on the inside high line. Then he gets out that doggy door. Clean ride for Jeff, and he cuts out.
That wave right there from Jeff Hubbard's just going to catapult him even further away from the Tahitian Angelo. Angelo going for that wave. It's going to be interesting. I mean, we still have 6 minutes, ton of time for both of these riders to clock in a big score if those waves do come in.
Right, and it's Jeff Hubbard again who gets the better of that exchange. Angelo, I still feel, is surfing a pretty smart heat. He's a local here. He knows what the waves can offer, so he was hoping that that mid-sized wave was going to offer him something, and it didn't quite shape up the way he wanted to. Let's see. He drops in, scoops in. Again, he has to fight his way around that first section. Then he gets a cover-up. Now he's going to... Oh, sorry. This is his first wave. So he got the cover-up, got the roll. That's what earned him that 5.83. Here's Jeff's first ride. 8.0 for him getting spit out of this nice barrel.
Nice. Yeah, and here's another look, the side angle where he's... I mean, you don't really
There's
know
the
how...
shockwave.
And he maneuvered that perfectly. He was able to maintain and pull up a little bit.
Here's Angelo's second wave. We see him coming around, getting a nice little spin. Critical landing there, and it puts him into the curl of the wave. So here's the front angle. He's just thinking, okay, buy some time with a maneuver on the face, but it starts sucking up real quick. He gets into the barrel after that, which was probably unintentional.
And then Jeff's last wave right here, trying to make something out of this smaller inside wave, and was able to pull in and get actually pretty deep, another deep barrel, but comes out right on the whitewash and makes it look very easy.
6.50 awarded for Jeff's last barrel ride, and a 1.83 coming in for Angelo, who is holding priority out the back. We've entered the final quarter of this heat with under 5 minutes remaining, and now Angelo is looking for an 8.68. He's going on this.
All right, Angelo, drawing a high line, going for a big invert right there, punches through the lip, maintains it, and lands it, showing face before he bails into the whitewash. So a nice clean invert right there from Angelo Ferreira, the Tahitian. He knows he needs some high-scoring waves, and that is probably the one of the best things you can do in that wave on that situation. But no barrel, but a big move right there for Angelo. Let's take another look.
So here he goes. He takes the speed. He sees it closing out, so he could just go straight up to this lip, gets nice projection, pulls the invert, pulls it back in front, and gets ahead of that whitewater for a moment. Let's check the land angle.
All right, again, he punches through the lip just a tad late on hitting the lip, throws it for inverted and lands it, lands once, and just lands it, bails out in the whitewash. Angelo Ferreira clocking in a solid invert maneuver right there.
So again, I would say that both of these riders are surfing smart heats. Jeff's been on the better waves. He's got the better of the exchanges both times. But Angelo is mindful that medium-sized waves can offer points. He's staying active. He's staying busy.
Yes.
One wave has shaped up with a good score. The other hasn't. But now we're waiting for scores to come in for his invert. 6.27. A nice way to continue building upon that 5.83. He still needs an 8.24, a near excellent score to attack the lead held by Jeff Hubbard, who does have priority now under 3 minutes remaining.
This is where it's going to be critical when you have that priority. You can see Jeff Hubbard raising his arm to try to he gets the attention of the announcer on the scaffolding. And that announcer will shout out the current situation as far as the scores and priority and time to the competitor that wishes to hear it. And Jeff wanted to hear it in that case. And now he knows what's going down. He has 2 minutes remaining. He has priority, and he knows Angelo needs a higher scoring wave. So Jeff is definitely going to use the strategy right now with that priority.
For sure, especially as time ticks down, Jeff is going to be really aware of the waves that Angelo is looking to approach. At the same time, he's going to be really aware of the best wave that comes in. So if a sick one comes in, he's probably going to go on it. But besides that, he's probably going to use his priority to take away the next opportunity that may come to Angelo, because Jeff is sitting with priority, and what that means is he has the opportunity to catch the next wave that comes in that he so desires. So if he sees that Angelo has interest in that, he obviously has dibs with the priority system, so he can go on that. But he's going to be patient, and this is critical moments of the heat.
I mean, anything could happen in these last few seconds of the heat. We've seen it happen before. We've seen it happen actually numerous times where the last waves of the heat determine who advances on and who calls it the end of the event. And Angelo Ferreira, he still has a shot. An 8.24 ride is totally possible. 55 seconds remaining. Will a wave come in? That's the question. And it's pretty interesting here. I mean, you don't really see the set wave. If you're out in the water, you don't really see it until it's almost right in front of you. So will that happen for Angelo Ferreira, or will Jeff Hubbard fend off the next wave in the last 30 seconds?
Yeah, we'll only have to wait and see, but we won't have to wait long. We see the competitors in the semifinal moving totally into the lineup. I think that's not necessarily encouraged by the judges. They want to still be able to take a good look at that priority system. They usually do appreciate competitors being patient and waiting a little bit until the heat ends.
Oh, here we go. Jeff Hubbard drawing the last wave of the heat, possibly with a nice deep barrel, and comes out with a clean roll, playing conservative, and kicks out right there. Jeff Hubbard, another solid wave. So, wow. That is... Oh, wait a second. Angelo out the back.
Just before the heat ends, Angelo does get on a ride. His body language says it all. He knows that Jeff Hubbard had the better of all the waves that came in that day. But great to see the camaraderie. Two good friends. They've surfed together quite a bit. And like we said, Angelo really looks up to Jeff's riding. And it is the Tahitian Angelo Ferreira finishing in equal 5th place. Jeff Hubbard moving on into the second semifinals.
Oh, wow.
So we have our top 4 finishers of this event. We will see how it all pans out in these next 2 semifinals.
So the semifinals are set. Cedric Estal going against Mike Stewart. Jeff Hubbard going against Jared Houston. Let's take another look at some of the last waves.
So nice clean barrel ride. Jeff being very patient, looking at when that lip's going to throw. So he wants to do a lip move out of there. Nice clean roll. And he knows that he doesn't need to improve on his situation, so he didn't go for any more moves after that. But here we see good positioning, He adjusts his speed accordingly so he can stay in that barrel as long as he can. Now as he's exiting, draws a nice line up to get a nice roll. And just a nice finish for Jeff Hubbard. And that was kind of a victory lap, just kind of continuing practice, staying fluid and mobile, ready for his semifinal now.
Again, welcome to the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. Manny V here with David Hubbard, bringing you the live feed from the end of the road. Te Hupo'o.
Yes, and it is the local boy from the end of the road, Cedric Estal, taking on Mike Stewart. This is going to be a great battle to watch. 25-minute semifinal. Top 2 waves will count. The winner of the semifinal will move into the grand final to battle for first and second. The second place rider will go for third and fourth.
That's right. We will be right back right after this. Welcome back once again to the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge, and we are underway with semifinal number 1 out in the water, the lone Tahitian, the only Tahitian to make it this far in the last 4 events here at the end of the road, Cedric Estal, the quiet one, going against the legend himself, the 15-year-old Mike Stewart. Take a look at this first wave from Cedric.
Cedric Estal dropping in. He's in the red jersey, finds a quick little cover up, high and tight, Manny. Going to come out through the white water a little bit, and he's going to receive a 4.33 for his opening effort.
Yeah, I mean, all of Tahiti right now is watching the live feed to make and support their very own Cedric Estal, who is looking good so far with this first wave. I mean, we had a slower heat in the last 2 heats, but not bad to start off his campaign with a smaller scoring wave, but it's something that could prove vital towards the end of this heat. Mike Stewart, 4.33. Cedric with a 3.5. Mike Stewart can't let his guard down. I mean, Cedric has just been rolling through this event, knocking out the likes of the Basqueman, Alex Uranga, and we saw in the last heat, David Hubbard, where he beat him in the very last seconds, and he was just mowing through.
Well, Cedric has been finding a way to make it through, and the thing is with his local knowledge, he might have a little bit more insight onto which waves are going to offer him the right opportunity to get that barrel or to find that lip maneuver that can push him through and get him just enough score to move on to the next round. But hey, it doesn't matter if you win by a little or a lot. The matter is you get the W and you move on to the next heat, as we see Cedric taking off.
All right, Cedric trying to find a lip section, and the wave may have just rolled too far on the inside with nothing to offer, no barrel, no lip maneuver, and he kicks out of there. Mike Stewart with priority, waiting patiently. Again, these are 25-minute semifinals, both this one and the one following. There he is, Jared Houston. He will be coming up next, going against Jeff Hubbard. 2 world champions, Jeff Hubbard, multiple, and our current world champion, Jared Houston. So Jared Houston, the South African, looking really strong. Jeff Hubbard looking really strong, but they're going to be coming up next. Cedric Estal, 28 years old, born in Papeete, but moved out to the end of the road to the country at about 16 years ago, and that's pretty much when he started putting a serious effort into his bodyboarding. So Cedric holding it down for the Tahitians. Can he beat out the legend, Mike Stewart? That is what every Tahitian is hoping for.
Well, we know Mike loves these kinds of waves. Mike is a 9-time world champion. He's also an 11-time pipe champion, so he loves big barreling lefts. He knows how to ride these waves, but Cedric Estal, like we talked about, the young blood, the young energy, can he take out the grizzled veteran?
Exactly. Both of them have a ton of experience out here. Mike Stewart actually, in 1985, set eyes on this wave. One of the first foreigners to actually set eyes on this wave. And 3 years later, 1988, actually came out here with Ben Severson and Chris Tenberg to ride the wave for the first time as we don't know for sure, but as foreigners, yes, they were the first ones to ride this wave, and now it is one of the mecca when it comes to wave riding.
Yeah, 100%. This is as good as it gets as far as a wave that we can bodyboard on. It's a wave of consequence. It offers a barrel and an opportunity to throw some big airs like we saw with Brahim. Yadush the other day with that gigantic invert. We also saw David Hubbard throwing a huge invert. I mean, just earlier this morning, Jared Houston really laid it on the line here at Chopu, which it's all about laying it on the line here at Chopu because remember, it's translated to wall of skulls. So it sounds like people have been laying it on the line here for hundreds of years.
Exactly. And it must have been scary if you rolled up and you saw a wall of skulls, but that was back in the day when they were all defending the territory. Now it's everybody's very welcoming and very hospitable, and it's been pretty awesome as far as our stay here. Out in the water, Cedric Estal, Mike Stewart, semifinal number 1. Taking a look at this one. Mike not going. It is Cedric pulling in. Oh, actually dropping in. Trying to get a cover up. It was a smaller wave, but he knows that time can and will run away from you if you're not careful. But here he is trying to put something together on the smaller wave.
Well, speaking of time, remember this heat is extended to 25 minutes instead of 20 like we had earlier. And that'll give these riders a little bit of extra time so where they can be a little bit more patient. Still, the best 2 waves count. Cedric caught that wave. He was under priority, so it didn't really matter as far as that goes. He was just kind of hunting, searching for something that might get him a little bit closer to Mike's 4.33. Now, don't forget, fans, you guys need to go on our social media. That's all the APB Tour events and all the APB Tour, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Check it out and make sure you share apbtour.com/live on all your social media. Keep sharing it. You'll have the opportunity to win a brand new JG board.
Nice.
We're also giving away t-shirts and rash guards from them all day as well.
Man, I didn't get his name, but he kept hitting me up on my personal on my personal Facebook just to say, hey, Manny, I'm doing my job. I think he was up to like 130 shares, so he's looking really good to win that JG board giveaway. But you can totally beat him out. Get on the Facebook and start sharing now. Mike Stewart taking a look at this one, dropping in, stalling, hitting the brakes. His legs are spread, going for a spin. And I think he's not going to be able to pull that around. Very uncharacteristic of Mike Stewart to not pull off a spin, especially in that situation. But that's how much water is moving and how fast it is moving. It's not only coming towards the reef, but water is also sucking off of the reef towards the wave. So it's a lot of water is moving, and it's moving quick. Mike Stewart making his way back out as quickly as possible to try to regain that priority. Here's another look at Mike Stewart's wave.
I'll tell you what, it's a little confusing for me to see a malfunction by the master. Yeah. Mike Stewart, the 4.360 in the barrel is usually, the easiest thing in the world for that guy. My feelings are kind of hurt.
Yeah,
that guy is the man. How does he? Mike Stewart, a rare mistake, and he's gonna lose priority, and that provides an opportunity for the local and the youngster Cedric Estal to really take advantage.
Yeah, Cedric now has the door open, and Mike Stewart's last heat, the quarterfinal with Tanner McDaniel, as the squall was coming in on the last live feed. Again, that was another low-scoring wave for Mike, or low-scoring heat for Mike Stewart and Tanner McDaniel, where I believe Mike Stewart actually advanced out of that heat with a combination of scores of a 5.5. So even the slower heats, I mean, one simple maneuver like a 360 or a spin in the barrel or a roll off the top could be enough to advance on. But now with 25 minutes in these semifinals, there's more opportunity, more time to get a higher scoring wave. But again, look at this low scoring waves for Mike Stewart and Cedric Estal. Totally doable for Cedric to pull this off if nothing comes through from this point on, and he gets a better score than a 2.24.
For sure. And while we have a little slowdown in the action, I want to remind all the fans at home who are watching, make sure you follow us on social media. Go to @APB Tour. That's APBTOUR, and make sure you click follow so you can get all the updates consistently from us and you know what's going on in the world of bodyboarding. That's APB Tour. Click on it and make sure you click follow.
There you have it. And also, again, we have been doing our best and trying to piece together the weather, the wind, the swell, and with just a certain amount of time in our hands, we had to run it in the best conditions. And look at this thing creeping in right now. Both of the riders caught inside. And, I mean, sunny, semi-glassy, with forecasts of very bad winds coming in the future. I mean, this is it. We're down to the wire.
It looks pretty nice to me. Nice conditions. I mean, sometimes some of the bigger waves aren't quite barreling as well as the medium-sized waves, but that's semi-common here at Chopu. Sometimes the biggest waves, they kind of teepee up. They kind of have a big peak, and they just have a shoulder. They don't really offer a real long down-the-line barrel.
13 minutes out of 25 minutes in this semifinal remaining. A big shout out to everybody tuning in. So Jose, hola amigo, he's tuning in from Chile. Loves the flow rider in Santiago, calls that his backyard. But Alejandro, Canary Islands and the Basque Country tuning in. If you want to say what's up, if you want to get a shout out, we do have a comments box down under our live feed on YouTube and I believe on the APB World Tour webpage. So reach in, say what's up, tell me your name and where you are tuning in from, and we'll do our best to give you a shout out. Once again, Manny V here with Eric Apple, live from the end of the road, and there are the judges. First hand look of what they see, the best view in the house.
That's right, for sure. And when Manny says the end of the road, it's not just a figure of speech or a nickname. This is literally at the end of the road here at Tahiti ET, which is the southern portion of the main Tahiti island, and the highway ends right here where the village begins. So pretty much if you want to go any farther than the Chopo village, you got to take a boat or you got to hike. And guys, don't forget, also make sure you find, if you're not already watching directly on our regular YouTube page, make sure you subscribe to it. You want to be subscribed to it. That way, again, you get updates and you can always see the latest action from the world of bodyboarding. Support the APB Tour, guys. And remember, we have great events coming up this year. A couple in South America. We'll be in Europe as well. So great action coming to you all year long here on the APB Tour.
11 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in this slow-paced, low-scoring semifinal number one. Wow. It could be possible that Tahitian, if he nabs a solid wave from Mike Stewart, can pull off a win here against the legend himself. Here he is, Cedric Estal.
Cedric taking off nice and slow, bottom turning, looking for a roll section possibly or a flip. ARS.
Oh my! And that's what we're talking about.
Yep. Now remember, all he needed was a 2.24 that's going to easily give Cedric the lead, but it might be temporary. Mike looking to replace a 1.4. He's going to easily do that. Nice barrel stalls, ducks out. So here we go. So just over halfway through this heat. Woo. 11 minutes to go. 9-time world champion Mike Stewart and the young gun Cedric Estal. This is a paddle battle.
We do have a paddle battle for priority, which means Mike Stewart and Cedric Estal will be paddling full speed to try to get out to the lineup first. First person to get out into the lineup will have priority, and that could be detrimental.
It's Mike Stewart 100%, and that's exactly why, man, he ducked out of that barrel. He was 100% aware of Cedric Estal. He was looking right at him, came out of that barrel. He got a score to replace his 1.4, ducked out. He's back to priority. Mike Stewart, that's why he's a 9-time world champion.
Exactly, Manny. And he is one of the most fit bodyboarders, if not the fittest bodyboarder on the planet, 52 years old. And Mike Stewart, also multiple body surfing world champion. This guy is a fish.
15-time world body surfing champion at Pipeline. I mean, the guy can do belly spins and rolls body surfing.
It's insane. This guy is he's a fish.
Yeah,
I
Mike.
think he has gills on the side of his neck.
I mean, it's hard for people to understand if they haven't had the chance to grow up around or live around Mike Stewart. But the guy is he's a conundrum. He's a living legend. He does things that don't make sense sometimes. I mean, one example I can give you is I've been next to him when sets are coming in. Well, let's take a look at this first, and we'll get back to the story.
Oh,
Mike
look at
paddling.
Yes, he's going to actually go all in on this one. He turned around and he stalls, pulls up high, and not much there.
Unfortunate for him.
I mean, there's 9.5 minutes remaining, so plenty of time for both of them to get high-scoring waves.
Okay, so Cedric Estal's last wave of the ARS, he got a 5.77. That's going to add to his 3.50.
Oh,
Manny.
my.
So he's temporarily in the lead. But we don't have a score from Mike. He needs a 4.45 to move up into the lead. He got that short little barrel. I don't think that's going to be quite enough. Oh, interesting. They only gave him a 1.27 for that.
For an in and out, yeah. For Mike Stewart.
1.27.
Well, that's where we're at. Mike Stewart now in that second place position. Cedric Estal with priority and the lead with 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. Oh my goodness. Are we going to see a major upset from the dark horse, the Tahitian Cedric Estal, taking out the legend himself, Mike Stewart? I mean, that could be amazing. Tahiti will definitely have a party, and
wave.
the punch will be flowing. Both of them on the inside.
So a story I was mentioning earlier, Mike.
Oh
Mike
my
is
God.
able to do things that people just don't do, Manny. And I can give one example as we see another set coming in. I don't know. It looks like both these guys are going to get caught inside again.
Oh my goodness, that is going to be insane.
The example I can give you guys of how incredible Mike Stewart is I remember as a kid, maybe 15 years ago, one of the biggest days we ever surfed a wedge. Everybody was caught inside, and Mike was sitting next to us, and it was me and several other professional bodyboarders. And Mike paddled away from us like we were sitting still, and we were all paddling hands and feet as fast as we can. And Mike had like another gear as we see the replay of Cedric Estal. And it'd be amazing for Cedric to beat someone like Mike Stewart. And with moves like this ARS, it's certainly possible.
Wow, he pulled that off, and that is what we're talking about in these slower heats when Mother Nature decides to take a little break from delivering the bigger waves. It's going to be moves like this that can pull you into the next heat. And in this case, Cedric could end up in the final if he holds on to this lead from Mike Stewart. But again, you're right. Mike Stewart is one of those riders that is not going to give up. Here he is on his last wave, slides and finds a barrel on the smaller wave of the two wave exchange, but makes it out super clean.
Man,
and he was in there. I know what you're going to say, and yeah, I think that could have been a little higher scoring wave.
1.27. I mean, this is not a wipeout. This he pulls out on purpose. He got a barrel. I mean, would it have been something that counted bigger than a 4.33? Probably not. So it doesn't really matter. But I'm very surprising for me to only see a 1 on that score.
Well, you know what?
But we're not judges.
I think that may have been just a holding. So I mean, we're gonna get back. Keep watching. The scores may still be dropping on that, but it all depends on what happens at 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. So hold steady on those scores. 6 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. So that it could change as we get closer to the end of semifinal number 1. If you're tuning in and if you're in the comments box right now, write one name: Tahiti or Hawaii. Who do you think is going to make it out of this heat? Cedric Estal, the Tahitian, in red, and Mike Stewart in yellow, currently out in semifinal number 1. The Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge final day is underway. Manny V here with Eric Apple. Oh my goodness, this is where it gets exciting.
Manny, we've been here 2 weeks, and this is what it all comes down to. Look at this paddle battle. Is Cedric going to go? Is Mike selling him on it?
Oh my.
I think it's a good wave.
All right, Cedric, the Tahitian, slides under. Nice clean barrel, and he comes out of that cleanly, and he's going to claim it. Oh, my goodness. He is pulling away possibly from Mike Stewart. But, again, Mike Stewart, he can pull off a 10 if he needs to in the last second. The question is, can Cedric hold on to that lead?
So Cedric looking to replace a 3.5. It looks like he's going to do that, Manny. Mike in the moment needs a 4.5, so he's going to have to get a little bigger score than that as well. So just a lay of the land with under 5 minutes to go right about now.
Oh my God, Cedric, the Tahitian, slides in perfectly, hits the brakes, dragging his legs a little bit more just to be able to maintain and stay in that barrel as long as he can. You can see his leg just dragging in the face of the wave a little bit more than usual just so he can slow down. Look how deep he gets on that barrel.
Okay.
And he looks like the opening is wide open, and right there he claims it, and he's happy with that, and he kicks out of there before it comes into the shallows.
We got a score for Cedric already, a 6.83.
Oh my goodness,
As we
but
see
look
Mike
at this.
taking off. Now remember, Mike needs to replace his lowest score is a 4.33. This could be it. Big roll section.
Oh my goodness!
Forward air.
Oh.
And then ducks out.
That is one of the toughest maneuvers that you can do perfectly. If you nail that maneuver, it's going to be a high-scoring wave. Again, Mike Stewart letting out all the stops and goes for a forward air on the inside before it gets shallow. Look at that wave in the background just streaking across the reef. Woo, Tahiti. Oh my gosh. Now we have a game on our hands. 3 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. Mike Stewart.
Mike's going to come in over.
Oh, wow. We've timed it before. It takes about 2 minutes to get the jet ski, almost 3 minutes, which is about the time remaining in this heat.
Oh, it's a bad idea. 3 minutes, 39 seconds. Let's look at the replay. Mike Stewart forward 360 air. Look at him driving for that lip. Hits it nice and crisp, maybe a half a millimeter a second too late. Comes around, lands it
nice.
Smooth, and then ducks out the back. Check it out, Manny.
Yeah,
That's a big wave.
This is a nice size wave, and you can see him timing it perfectly. And a big forward air. Look at that drop. He must have dropped like 10 feet, and you saw the whiplash from his head just bouncing, and he pulled it off perfectly and bails out before the wave comes into the shallows. Mike Stewart with an amazing forward. And now, look at this. Cedric Estelle, he has 3 minutes all to himself out in the lineup.
Oof.
The local. Can he hold on and be calm? Will Mother Nature deliver a wave for him in these last 2 minutes and deliver a solid score?
So Mike needed a 7.78. He could be somewhere close. He could be close to that. If he doesn't get it, he's going to be looking to replace a 4.83. For sure he's replacing the 4.33. I don't know if he's going to be enough, though, to take the lead from Cedric, who, of course, has priority. Here we hear Mike Stewart coming by now. They're going full speed across the lagoon right behind where we're sitting. So I would say he's got about another 60 to 80 seconds before he's back in the lineup.
Oh, my goodness. So that was a crucial decision on Mike Stewart's part. He opted to take that jet ski ride. It usually takes 2 to 3 minutes to get back out into the lineup, which is about the amount of time left in this heat. Cedric all by himself in the lineup, and if a solid wave comes in, he can take this semifinal away from Mike Stewart. We're still waiting for scores to drop.
Let's go back to that camera angle in the channel and see if we can see Mike being dropped off out there.
Oh my goodness! Scores are still dropping on our end. We are
I'm
waiting
thinking a lot.
patiently. We are waiting patiently for those scores to drop, and we're not going to say anything until those final numbers are tallied. And I say, give them all the time in the world.
Yeah, the judges, of course, are going to take their time. I would say Mike is just about being dropped off the edge of the contest area where he can paddle in now. Again, obviously, Cedric has priority. Now, remember the way it works. Cedric can choose any wave he wants. If he doesn't decide to take the wave, even if he has priority, Mike Stewart can get it. That's called catching a wave under priority. So 1 minute and 5 seconds to go. Still waiting for a score on Mike Stewart's forward air. And we have scores. 7.73. It's not enough. He missed it by 1/10 of a point.
Oh my goodness. Look at this one more time. And I can see why the judges scored that right there. His landing gears his legs are already down and landing. And it looks like that if he would have maintained that nice tight look. Let's go to the live action with Cedric Estelle on a smaller wave.
Oh, this might be a mistake.
Oh my goodness.
Michael needs to replace a 4.83, Manny. He has 35 seconds to do
my
it. Is he in the lineup?
goodness.
Where is Mike?
Are you kidding me right now? Mike Stewart We're still waiting for the final.
Oh, there he
scores.
is. Here comes a wave, too.
Oh, Mike
Oh,
Stewart.
man, you gotta be
20
kidding
seconds remaining. Can he get out there in time to get a 4.88?
He's gotta go.
He knows time is running out. He's turned it around, and he's going to go. A 4.88 is what Mike Stewart is looking for. I think he's going to let everything go on this inside section no matter what. Oh, goes for a roll. Did we see an upset here, ladies and gentlemen? Did the dark horse, the Tahitian, roll through another heat and just stomp on another giant? Mike Stewart, this is going to be amazing. Holy moly.
I'd be really surprised.
Oh, my God.
I'd be really surprised if Mike brings in something more than a 4.88 on that wave. Man, he missed it literally by a tenth of a point. No, sorry, 4/100ths of a point.
Oh my God, Mike Stewart knows this is it. This is the last thing he can do in this heat, and he goes for a roll on the super, super shallow part of the wave, and he pulls it off clean and kicks out of there. But we are waiting for the last final numbers to come down the pipeline. But did Cedric Estal, the Tahitian, the 28-year-old, oh my goodness, did he just take out another top contender, Mike Stewart, in the last minutes here in semifinal number 1?
Unbelievable.
If so, there is going to be a party in Tahiti tonight. I will bet you 100%.
Unbelievable. This is an amazing heat, amazing
my
time for the
goodness.
locals. A score comes in for Mike Stewart.
Oh
It
my
is not
God.
enough. So again, Cedric Estal beats Mike Stewart
Oh
by
my
4/100ths of a point.
Oh my goodness.
And that's
0.04.
that's a feather in the hat of the Tahitian right there.
Wow, the crowd is actually all the Tahitians on the beach right now, and I'm sure everybody watching. Again, Cedric Estal taking out another giant from the heat and making it to the final. Oh, you can hear the crowd behind us. The Tahitians are stoked. Mike Stewart, wow, did not make it, and now we have one finalist ready to go. Who will face off Cedric Estal? This is it. Heat number 2 in the semifinals, getting ready to go.
Jared Houston, the South African and a champion, taking on Jeff Hubbard, one of the most well-liked and well-known bodyboarders in the world. The first wave taken off by champion Jared Houston.
Jared Houston has been getting the first wave and goes for a big invert on that inside section. Jared Houston, I've seen him catch the first wave of every heat that he's been in, and it looks like he's still on that train and pulls off a big invert in semifinal number 2 on the first wave ridden. So Jared Houston, he looks unstoppable.
Well, that gives the priority to Jeff Hubbard as we wait for a score for Jared. Jared, he threw that big ARS in the heat earlier. Man, a gigantic ARS. Remember, his hand popped off. Also started off that heat with an invert as well. Here he is, bottom turning, aiming for that lip, Manny.
You can see him. He's behind that other section right there, so he knows he either has to cut out or go for a big maneuver, and he just throws it sideways, goes fully inverted on this air, and you can see it landing a little bit late on the takeoff, but lands perfectly out in front of the whitewash. So a solid start right there for Jared Houston, the South African. Oh my goodness!
Well, here comes the score, man. Great score there for Jared. That's a great way to start a heat, and like you talked about before, the Guilherme Tamega plan or strategy, GTS.
Yes, the GTS. I don't know if he's gonna like that because I'm pretty much exposing his secret of getting out there and getting a first wave in that first few minutes of a heat. But Jared Houston, he's digging it, he's doing it, and right there, it's proving that it's working for him.
Well, as a little break in the action, we want to give a shout out, say hi to Carly and Ashley at home who are watching, messaging us. We want to talk about our sponsors as well. Of course, Sparkgreen, our title sponsor, really doing a great job in helping bring bodyboarding back to Tahiti. Viral Surf Club, OPT, FTS, Air Tahiti Nui. Man, I had a direct flight from LA and it was smooth and perfect as can be. TNTV, ISS, Bodyboard King, JG Bodyboards, as well as the Tahitian government, the sports minister. They also really opened the door and welcomed us with open arms here to Tahiti, and we love it. In red again, Jared Houston looking to extend his lead.
Jared Houston's looking solid. A little bit of missed timing right there. Too much speed as he went up the face of the wave, and there was nothing there by the time he got there. Jeff Hubbard all by himself, letting this wave go by. So still waiting for Jeff Hubbard's first wave. He has priority right now. Again, semifinal number 2 out in the water. And if you're just tuning in, we do have our first finalist by the name of Cedric Estal from Tahiti.
I'll tell you what, though. One thing we noticed throughout the contest, and we're still noticing today, Manny, is that the barrel is king here at Chopu as far as the judges are concerned.
Yeah, if you can get a long, deep barrel and end it with a solid maneuver, that's going to most likely give you the highest score possible.
Even a barrel and like a medium, scored maneuver afterwards, that's really what it takes. If you miss the barrel and do a big ARS or flip, you get a decent score for sure. But if you get a barrel and finish off with a roll or a big reverse off the lip or something like that, then you're definitely going to get the highest scores.
Wow, I'm sorry. I was looking over my shoulder as the crowd on the beach is going crazy. They were taking Cedric Estal on the jet ski out and around back into the lineup. So yes, our first finalist and your first Tahitian in these last 4 events at this wave is Cedric Estal, who just took out Mike Stewart in a very, very close semifinal number 1. Again, Tahitians that have been showed face here. We have Moana Florent and Nicholas Richard, who were the first Tahitians to compete here in the 2000 skins event, and it was in 2001 where we saw Heimana Jerd, who was the only Tahitian to compete in that 2001 event. And in 2003, we saw Nicholas Richard and Moana Florent return, and along with Rari Borno. So those 3 Tahitians showed up. This year, we had a ton of Tahitians. I believe there were 7 Tahitians in the event. I could be mistaken. I'll double check on that. But we have our first Tahitian finalist, Cedric Estal. Waiting patiently for the winner of this heat, Jeff Hubbard, first wave.
Here we go. Jeff Hubbard's been doing amazing in this contest. Really, really dominating his heats. Bottom turning for this lip. We're going to see a roll.
Oh, no.
Jeff, with a little malfunction or decides the wave didn't offer what he needed, he's going to coast out. He's going to lose priority. And that's going to give Jared Houston, with less than 20 minutes to go, the priority with the lead.
Oh my gosh, I was able to sit down with Jeff Hubbard last night at dinner before hitting the hay, and I asked him, what goes through your mind? How do you handle these situations where you're caught behind the 8-ball, you don't have the scores you want on your scorecard? What do you do to reset? What goes through your mind? And he essentially said, I assess everything. I take a step back. I don't freak out. I don't want to panic, and that's it. And look at this. Mike Stewart and Cedric Estal, the 2 semifinalists from that first semifinalist. Mike Stewart in yellow. You know what? He did an awesome job just showing how to ride this wave properly when it was on, and every single wave he was on. But wow, this quiet underdog, the dark horse. But wait, live action. Jared Houston.
Oh, what? How was the hesitation before the roll? It was like he was going to do an air, and then he decided to roll it over.
That's what I'm starting to notice from a lot of these riders. They're coming off the bottom turn with a ton of speed. When by the time they get to the lip, either it's not there or they have to make something happen. And you saw that right there, Jared forcing that roll over. Wow, Cedric Estal, Mike Stewart, semifinal number 1 completed. Cedric all smiles. He can't believe it.
And Mike is the opposite, the agony of defeat. Mike only losing by 0.04 of a point or 0.06 of a point.
Goodness.
So close. And what it really came down to, Manny, was, just Cedric was able to find the barrels, to be honest. Here's Jeff taking off a big set wave, kind of peeking up, though, not really a barrel to offer on the outside. But look at this.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful invert. Lands out in the flats. Dismount off the back, and that's going to get Jeff on the board. He's going to get a backup score. Actually, that'll be his biggest score. And but again, hopefully that 1.5 won't be a score that matters by the end of this heat.
Again, semifinal number 2 out in the water. 25-minute semifinals, and you can see the time remaining on your screen. Top 2 waves are going to be scored in their maximum allotted 10 waves. So again, you need 2 solid waves. If you can hold on to that and remember that 2 waves is all it takes, then you'll be solid. Nice, clean invert right there from Jeff Hubbard. Look at the landing.
Perfect.
Wow. And
Perfect
you can see he was about a foot or 2. And look at the size from this angle. Just makes everything look bigger. And he's right there about 2 feet above the lip. and he has like a 6-foot landing perfectly.
Yeah, and he lands on the downside of the wave. It makes it not such a big, impact where he detonates. He really coasted down the wave beautifully right there, and that's what the fans know and love Jeff Hubbard for, isn't it, Manny?
Yeah, that was amazing. So Jeff Hubbard clocking in a solid wave, and Jared Houston as well.
We have a score for Jeff Hubbard's big invert there, a solid 8.0. So even without the barrel, Jeff bringing in an 8. And again, as you guys see Mike Stewart, don't forget, we're going to see Mike Stewart back. He's going to take on whoever gets second, the loser of this heat. And that'll be for third place. So we are going to have a tiebreaker for third and fourth place instead of just an equal third.
I think that's pretty cool. Well, they call it the podium final, which pretty much determines who ends up in third and who ends up in fourth rather than having an equal third. That will be coming up soon. So that heat will determine who will end up on the podium along with first and second place. Here we are, heat number 2, and up and riding Jeff Hubbard.
Jeff driving down. This is a medium-sized, smaller wave. Look at, finds a little ARS section. Boom. That's going to replace his 1.5 easily. Coasting on the inside. Will he do another maneuver? No. And Jeff has really not very often been a guy to throw big maneuvers on the inside where it's really shallow, except when he needed that big reverse air the other day. And remember, he won the heat with only seconds to go. So when it's on the line and he knows he needs it, he'll take a chance and risk himself. But at the moment, he knows he's in the lead. He doesn't need to risk life and limb. Check out this ARS, Manny.
Yes.
Nice and smooth.
Yes, he pulls it perfectly. This guy is a master aerialist, and you can see it right there. Even on the smaller stuff, here he is. The time is perfect. If anybody has the timing down when it comes to lip maneuvers, it's this guy, Jeff Hubbard, and you saw it right there. And again, I mentioned it. 2 waves is what you're after. 2 high-scoring waves is what's going to get you through to the final.
Well, speaking of high scores, man, you remember we had an 8 for Jeff. His backup score is going to be a 5.33. It's what he just got for that ARS. So Jeff Hubbard with a total of 13.33 is in the lead. Jared Houston needs a 6.51, and Jared Houston's parents are watching back in South Africa. We want to say what's up to Angus. We know he's there. He's cheering on his son. Also watching Corey Correa. I want to say what's up to Corey Correa and Nina. We know you're watching. We love it. Thanks, guys.
14 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Jared Houston with priority. He needs that 6.51 and everything you can see on your score. And look at that beautiful angle from the channel. And you can see the waves. You can see everybody just chilling out. What I would do right now to be out there, and you can see the bearded one, Roy Overstreet, chilling along with everybody else in the channel. And here we go, live action. Jared Houston, the South African, digging deep, pushing over the ledge, maintaining speed, and there's a little bit of bump out in the water. The storm that rolled through for the, well, I want to say yesterday, but man, it seems like we were under the storm for the last 2 weeks with a couple glimpses of sun. But there is a little warble, a little weird bump in the water that's making these lips, these waves break a little bit premature, and that's what these riders are contending with right now.
Yeah. Jared Houston, I mean, man, do you see that bottom turn, the look on his face? That he was determined. He was looking to hit something right there. Remember, he needs a 6.51. Still have more than half of the heat left here. 13 minutes, 23 seconds to go. And, man, that wave didn't offer what he needed, but Jared was looking to bash that lip for sure.
Yeah, they're coming off the bottom with as much speed as possible. And here's a look at Mike Stewart. Again, a great effort. Ended up in the podium final. We're going to see Mike Stewart again. He's going to face off the person who comes in second. Look at this. Jeff opting to go with priority. Quick spin. Oh, again, that weird warble, that weird bump in the water got the best of him on that one where he tried to spin, and a little bump right in front of the wave just got his rail and sent him underwater. Jeff Hubbard making his way back out now with priority with 12 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Jared Houston.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would definitely not want to be whoever takes on Mike Stewart in this next heat, because you know Mike is not happy. He's going to be on it the next heat. He's not going to be nice. He's not going to give anybody an inch. I guarantee it.
Yes. So, again, the second place finishers in the semifinals will face off in the podium final. That will determine who will take that last podium spot in third place along with first and second. That's going to be coming up right after this. Mike Stewart will face off the person who gets second place between Jared Houston and Jeff Hubbard for that podium final. But we do have a finalist ready to go. Cedric Estal, the Tahitian.
For sure, 100% a local from the village of Teopo'o, or Chopu, for everyone in the U.S. calls it.
You know, that's the hardest. It's a tough word to pronounce. A Tahitian word, which means?
It means wall of skulls, and this was literally a place where the local tribe of Tahitians would build a wall of skulls to warn all the other tribes that wanted to pass through their land or come and conquer them that your heads will end up on this wall like the rest.
Oh my goodness.
I'm fully down with that.
That's a great history, but for the lazy Americans, we've opted to just say chopes. And everybody knows what you're talking about, but the proper pronunciation, if spoken slowly, Tea Hupo'o.
Yeah, a lot of fun Tahitian words to pronounce over here, especially a lot of fun Tahitian names. But it's very similar to Hawaiian. The actually has the same alphabet as Hawaiian. There's only 13 letters. Almost half of them are vowels, and a lot of the words even transfer over almost the same or exactly the same. The example we gave was the ocean in Tahitian is vai, and ocean in Hawaiian is kai. So very, very similar. As you see a nice inside wave breaking across, barreling across the reef. And remember, there's a really, really shallow reef out there. We haven't talked about it that much, but it is extremely dangerous. You can get cut on it very, very badly, as Guillermo Tamega has in a contest here as well. And you don't want to get cut up on this reef, Manny, because you can get severe infections, including staph, correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple bodyboarders that have showed up here, and they're used to their home break where, you know, the colder water, not as much microcosm of whatever get into your skin and you're good to go. But here in the warm waters in the Pacific, if you get cut, you got to clean that first thing. If not, you can end up with an infection. So yeah, we had a couple of bodyboarders who got cut and got staph infection. So it is very dangerous to be out here and get cut up. And here, look at these two. Cedric Estal, he's going to be in the final, and Garth McGregor.
Cedric is all smiles out there. He's still shaking his head going, am I really making it to the finals?
I think he's been smiling this whole time.
Let's take a look at the points and the money that's awarded for the finals. So what is the minimum that Cedric can get, Manny?
Have a look.
Looks like 3,200 points minimum is what he's going to get no matter, even if he gets second, and $2,500, but the winner takes away 4,000 points and $4,000.
Amazing. So maybe that's why he's smiling. He's going to get some francs in his pocket, in his bank account, to be able to buy as many baguettes as he wants. Jared Houston currently in that second place spot, but has priority, and it looks like Mother Nature is taking a quick little nap right now, but perfect time for you to kick down your name, tell me your name and your location from where you are tuning in from if you're watching the live feed. And a quick little history on the first three events that we've had here. It was Ryan Hardy in the 2000 Skins event who won with that awesome spin in the barrel. Everybody remembers that clearly. But it was Alistair Taylor, Guillermo Tamega, and Mike Stewart who were in that final as well. And in 2001, we saw Guillermo Tamega win that heat when the contest window expired. 16 days of no waves at all. They had to move it to Big Pass, which was another wave down the beach, and they had to contest in 3-foot point break. So that was won by Guillermo Tamega, followed by Jesse Cooper, Alistair Taylor, and Mitch Rollins. It was 2003, the last event held here for bodyboarding, and it was Damian King who took the win in that year. Here we go, live action, Jared Houston again.
You're looking for a 6.51. Is this wave going to offer a barrel or a lip section for him? It does.
Oh my.
Clean ARS that falls up with a forward spin. Back to the
Nice.
face of the wave and ducks out the back, Manny, and that could be close to the score that he needs.
Definitely going to take place of that 3.5, his lowest of his top two scoring waves. But Jared Houston, that was a solid wave, very clean. He knew what he had to execute, which was a clean maneuver, land, and throw in whatever he can after he lands. So Jared Houston, he knows what's at stake. 7 minutes and a half remaining with Jeff Hubbard now holding that priority chip.
So let's set the table, Manny. Again, Jared Houston needed a 6.51. We're going to give you the score as soon as we have it. We have 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Jeff Hubbard is in the lead. He's looking to move on to the final versus Cedric Estal. Now, we have a score coming through, a 6.67. It is enough for Jared Houston to move into the lead. 13.50. Jeff with an 8 and a 5.3. He wanted to get something better than a 5.33 to extend his score. And will it be enough? As we see the replay, check out the ARS.
Oh my, so perfect timing right there for Jared Houston, a giant backflip. Here's a front look of the maneuver where Jared, all he had on his mind was the lip maneuver, and right here you can see him just going for a giant flip and lands it perfectly, spins it around, and he's not done yet, throws another quick spin right there, and that right there is what the judges want to see, is control and being able to put another maneuver at the end of a big move like that.
Well, one thing you'll notice is that he went through that forward spin immediately out of the landing. You know, he rotated around out of the ARS and just kept going. He really never stopped, did he, Manny?
No, that was a pretty solid move, and that's what the judges like to see. Full control throughout the entire wave, and Jared Houston executing a solid run right there. So scores will drop, and we'll see where that leaves Jared Houston and Jeff Hubbard with 6 minutes remaining. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is the heat to tune in on. Jared Houston and Jeff Hubbard, a solid run right now. Semifinal number 2, 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. Manny V here with Eric Apple, and we are not done. We have a podium final and a final, and then we are done with the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. Again, the podium final, we're going to take the second place finishers in the semifinals, and we're going to face them off for a 25-minute heat. The person who wins that heat will get the last spot on the podium, the third place spot, and first and second, of course, will be determined in that 30-minute final. And the Tahitian, Cedric Astal, again, the first Tahitian to make it to the final on home turf in these last 4 events. And I want to do a quick, oh, wait a second. It looks like we are going to be lining up an interview with Cedric Astal.
As soon as we slip it away, Jeff does that, and can come back.
Genre demi-finale non, en finale plutôt, ouais.
Finale.
Ben, je suis content, là. Je suis content.
Ouais. Il a quand même battu le champion, hein. 9 fois champion du monde, quoi. Mike Stewart, c'est pas rien, une légende. Donc c'est cool.
Voilà, c'est cool, ouais.
Bon, ben maintenant, on attend pour savoir avec qui il va être, contre qui, Jared Houston ou Jeff Hubbard. Alors maintenant, on verra bien. Et on croise les doigts, on sait que Cédric va gagner. Hein, Cédric? C'est bon? Confiant, hein?
Voilà,
Il a l'air
confiant.
Il est confiant, merci
Il est
beaucoup, on
confiant.
va pas l'embêter plus longtemps. Merci beaucoup Réva-toi, merci beaucoup à Cédric Estol, tout le Fénois et...
You know what? He is on a roll. Here's another look at Jeff Hubbard with a nice clean ARS. And again, Jeff and Jared Houston going head to head with their solid runs right there. Jeff Hubbard, another look from this angle. Perfect timing. Again, perfect projection. Lands kind of a little too close to the whitewash, but is able to pull it around. Jeff Hubbard, Jared Houston, pretty insane semifinal going down right now. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining left in semifinal number 2 in the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. Manny V here with Eric Apple. Thank you all for tuning in for the live feed from Tahiti, the end of the road here in Teahupo'o. Yes, it is coming down to the wire. We have a podium final and a final coming up after this heat.
So just to let you know where we're at, let's set the table, lay of the land. Jeff with his last wave, a 6.27. That put him into the lead. He has an 8 and a 6.27. However, Jared Houston is second place with priority, and he's hunting for that 7.45, and that would be the biggest score of his heat thus far, but we know Jared is capable of it, isn't he, Manny?
Oh my God, both of these riders have the ability to pull off 10s in these conditions. It's just a matter if Mother Nature is going to deliver the goods. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Another tight heat right here. Again, that 7.45 needed by Jared Houston. Totally doable. If you are tuning in and if you are going for Jared Houston, let me know your name and location. Put it in the comments box. We'll get a shout out after the 2 minutes and 20 seconds have gone by. I don't know. What are you thinking?
2 minutes to go. Jared Houston with priority. I mean, it's not a time for Jeff to relax. He does have a 6.27. We know that he could easily replace that. So Jeff still has to be thinking not just how is Jared going to get the score. Jeff needs to be thinking, I need to ditch that 6.27.
I know. Oh my goodness. Again, this is where it gets all antsy and anxious, not only for the riders, but I get nervous, man. I don't know if it's the coffee or the Red Bull or whatever's going down over here, but the caffeine is getting crazy in the booth, and the riders, oh my God, I don't know what they're going through, but Jeff, totally calm and collected, I can tell you that right now, and Jared Houston probably the same. It's just a matter of the waves coming in.
Again, you guys remember, make sure you share apbtour.com/live on your social media for a chance to win a JG board. We're also giving away rash guards and t-shirts throughout the day. Also, go on @APBTour on both Instagram and Twitter. That's @APBTOUR, and make sure you click follow. Don't just check out the page. Click follow so you get all the updates and all the latest info. That's what's important. Support the APB Tour, bringing you the best bodyboarding on the planet, Manny.
1 minute to go.
It looks
Can
like some sets.
Jared Houston find that 7.45 ride? Oh my gosh, I can tell you right now, all his comrades, the South Africans, are watching patiently, but look at this. Oh my God, this guy is signing autographs all over the place. He is going to be the Tahitian bodyboarding hero, most definitely, for the next year. Indeed, Cedric Estal, the quiet country boy, is making a name for himself in this event. It's going to be pretty exciting to see where it goes from here.
25 seconds, and right now it's looking like Jared Houston's going to have to take on Mike Stewart in the podium final.
Oh my goodness.
Hubbard's in a good position, 17 seconds ago. Man, he's got to be nervous right now, just counting down the seconds. That was a set wave, but like we said, the bigger set waves are not necessarily the ones, Manny, that offer the best wave to score big. And looks like we're done with the heat. 2 seconds, 1 second. So there you have it.
Oh my. So there you have it. We have our podium final. We have our final set for the end of this event. It was Jeff Hubbard taking out Jared Houston in semifinal number 2. So wow, another intense heat right there between these two guys. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, definitely great action. It came down the last seconds, and it's good when we have a heat where it's not a blowout. I mean, Jared was capable of 7.45, so it offers some suspense, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that's it. That's where we are. We are Jeff Hubbard facing off the Tahitian, and I think Jared is just catching a wave to call it quits, and he strolls over to the channel. Jared Houston catching an inside wave before making his way over to the channel. You're going to see Jared Houston again. He's going to face off with a pretty awesome heat with Mike Stewart for the podium final.
One big advantage that Cedric has too, as being the first finalist, is he gets the longest break. He gets the longest time to rest and refocus, because beating someone like Mike Stewart, people talk about, I think David talked about it before, people could peak too early in a competition, and when you beat someone like Mike Stewart, there could be like an adrenaline dump, right? Oh yes. And sometimes it happens in surfing all the time and bodyboarding all the time, where you see guys beat a world champion, and after that they almost are like, it was too much for them. They have no energy left, and it's all gone. So Cedric really needs to kind of refocus himself, because I guarantee you he was extremely excited, like, man, I just beat Mike Stewart. But he's got to focus on Jeff Hubbard now.
Yeah, hopefully he can maintain that adrenaline, and you know what? We will find all of that out soon as we come back right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. Manny V here, now in the hot seat. David Hubbard, amazing.
Amazing. I'm loving the way this final day is shaping up. Love the positioning of our finalists. First off, in this podium final, Mike Stewart, Jared Houston. This is going to be an awesome battle. And then I love looking at that final, my bro versus Cedric. To me, some of the guys who I would like to do the best, but try to be non-biased and make a clean call. We're bringing you the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge finals are here.
That's going to be really hard for you not to be biased in this final heat that we're going to see about 35 minutes from now. 25-minute podium final. That's what we're going to see out in the water first, and then we're going to go into a 30-minute final. And again, stacked heats, both of them. First Tahitian to make it into the final here in Tahiti.
Well, I kind of hope that the dream run continues for the Tahitian. I think it would be splendid if Cedric makes the dream run all the way to be the champion here at the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge.
That would be amazing. And I think we're going to take a quick look at Jared Houston's big invert right there. Nice, clean projection and lands out in the flats. And this is just some replays just to roll us over. I think we're killing time so we can get the competitors to get a little bit of rest. But again, Jared Houston's last waves from his last heat. Here's another look from a different angle.
Here's the attempted move, but just kind of mistimed it. We saw the wave continue to bowl after. He was just a little early. Here's Jeff. This could be his invert. He gets up there. Nice invert, lofty flight, clean, nice solid wave. He's been able to get an 8 in his quarterfinal as well as an 8 in his semifinal on this ride for that nice invert. So Jeff Hubbard is surfing smart. He's surfing good heats. He's getting some high scores. Some of the high scores actually today thus far. So numbers-wise, Jeff's probably the favorite moving into the final. Here's his backup ride. Actually, that was one of his first flips. He might have improved that, but this could have been one of the scores that really helped shape the heat, because it was that flip that Jared had to better. He did, but then Jeff also got another flip. So let's take a look at Jared's. Jared's moving on into that inside section, sees it bowling. He's taking a lot of speed, though, more speed than Jeff took to the lip with his ARS. That's why that was maybe about 1.5 points more. As we see this section coming up, he takes a lot of speed. Through that bottom turn, up, projects it, gets more trajectory, more flight. Then he throws the extra spin immediately after, continuing the rotation after that maneuver. So that was awarded his 6.67, I feel. And now this was Jeff's backup wave that he climbed back into the lead with. Good size wave, good size flip. That got him a 6.67, I believe. And that was, along with his 8, 6.27, I'm sorry. That was along with his 8 what got him into the finals.
And here's another look of Jared Houston's. I think he came around. Sorry about that. I think this was his wave to the channel. That was the end of the heat. He took it just to get a little last run before his next heat, which will be the podium final. Look at that nice execution exit.
So, you know, what happens there is he might have to switch jerseys, or he might stay in the same jersey. Here's his big roll, 6.0 in his first quarterfinal. But what happens with the podium final is it takes place immediately after that semi, so they should be preparing now. There's the nice clean roll. That was a great way to start off his quarterfinal campaign. It got him into the semis along with another ride. This could be the other ride that got him there. The backflip on this kind of medium-sized wave.
I mean, this angle right here is beautiful, nice colors and everything, but when you get that front view, you can see the actual height of the wave and how much projection they have, and it's a solid view. Let's take another look at this front view again from Jared Houston. That that flip. I mean, the timing, how crucial is it when you're coming into the inside section?
Well, especially there with the lip really breaking, the wave totally passing him by. So he's fighting a lot of explosion there to pull that move. And here we see another one of his rides from that early quarterfinal heat. Here's that huge backflip that he did not complete. There it all comes crashing down on him. But at that point, he was already had Alan Munoz in combination. Here it is. This would have been a huge score had he landed it. Beautiful projection. So clean. Huge flight. And he actually lost his board on that wave, Manny.
Yeah, I mean, that was enough power to just take anybody's board and break any leash. That was a lot of power behind that landing. And Alan Munoz, we're just giving you a rundown, some highlights from previous heats as the next heat, the podium final, get ready to go. A 25-minute heat. Top two waves will be scored. Alan Munoz, he had a really bad run in his heat. The waves didn't really come in, and the waves he did get, unfortunately, weren't the best, and he didn't pull those maneuvers in his heat.
Here we see Angelo. Angelo in his quarterfinal campaign, he was able to get some mid-range scores on his battle against Jeff Hubbard. It was Jeff Hubbard who moved on into the semi and now is waiting to surf the grand final. Angelo looking on one of his first rides, gets just around that little section, tucks in, smooth little barrel ride, starts getting frothy, but he comes out clean, able to keep the edge even though the lip tried to knock his legs off, and now he goes for the roll. Nice start for his campaign, Angelo Ferreira, but it's Jeff Hubbard who got his first 8 of the morning on this barrel ride. Nice, long, clean barrel with that spit. Picturesque. Teupo, that's what we come here for, is these nice barrels. What a great way to start off his campaign. There we see the shockwave just jostle him just a touch as the spit blasts him out. Now we have Angelo. He's got just a little bit of a section to do a spin there and gets caught up. He just gets sucked over trying to pull that spinner in the barrel. Spinner's actually being a real tricky maneuver today. Not many of our riders have had successful 360s on the open face. Here's Angelo with his attempt. We remember Mike Stewart had an attempt to do a 360, failed it. Even Jeff in one of his heats. Cedric has been successful with his 360s. Here's Jeff's backup score. Nice barrel. Medium, kind of inside runner. Got a great barrel on that ride. Here's Angelo still battling to get to that semifinal that we know he didn't make, but nice invert there. That was a solid attempt, and Angelo surfed that heat really well, I felt, and it was just turned out that Jeff had the better of the exchanges. Nice approach, critical, clean landing there for Angelo. Here's Jeff riding through. Nice little cover up. This wave doesn't give him too deep of a section to work with, so he opts for a roll on the way out. Here he is setting up for it, slowly approaches, and then he's gonna see that section, pull a nice clean rollo on the way out. Very well ridden. It was Jeff who got the better of the exchanges in that quarterfinal heat. Here's the embrace. Jeff going off the board, wants a hug. Close friends there, and just breathing it all in, soaking it up. So great camaraderie and sportsmanship. Angelo was stoked on his equal 5th placing here at the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. Now moving into highlights of the semifinals. Mike Stewart getting a little cover up here. And as we watch the rest of these highlights, we've already seen them. Let's talk to Bernadette a little bit about the organization and having a Tahitian in the final. But first, security. Tell us about it.
Security. Hello everybody. Donc Yaurana from Taupo. I just want to say that the security over here is also important for this event. And we have our team with the lifeguard and the water patrol to secure everything, secure riders and officials and public.
Yeah, very important part of the event. Of course, we're surfing a very dangerous venue, and the team of security, water patrol, lifeguards have been just really professional and been so important. Thank you so much.
Maruru.
So here we have Bernadette from the Vairao Surf Club, who's also going to talk to us a little bit about the organization aspect of this event. Pretty critical, all the logistics.
Well, as I say sooner, so Yorana from Chaupo, I just want to say thank you to the APB Tour who trust in the Vairao Surf Club for organizing this event to make the tour coming to Chaupo, to Tahiti, and having this as a second day of the tour 2016.
Yeah, wonderful. We're so stoked to be back here in Tahiti. Couldn't have been possible without you and the Vairao Surf Club, as well as all the rest of the sponsors. Thank you so much. And now the exciting, really exciting thing for the Tahitian community
is having a Tahitian on the final. Our Tahitian Cedric Estor, a young guy, 28 years old from Chopu, and who that I really want to say he is the last one who get inscribed in this contest.
Oh, interesting. So he waited to the last moment and
yeah,
just barely got his slot. So he's a very casual fella, and we've mentioned how cool, calm, and collected he is, and waited to the last moment to actually
He
enter.
waited to the last moment, very last moment to enter the contest. So he was watching for the waves, watching for everything. So, and after the last decision, he decided to enter the event.
That is so cool, and now he's representing all of Whenua.
The whole French Polynesia. So we are so happy for him and also for the Whenua, because we are having a Tahitian facing another world multi world champion, Jeff Hubbard, and it's also we are also proud of him, because he's not used to contests, he's not used to competition, he has no sponsors, and so he's been waiting for this event for 13 years old.
Right. And I would imagine that a few of those things might change. Maybe he will be able to find some sponsorship after this event, and he obviously has some incredible contest experience now competing in this World Tour event, making it all the way to the finals. You talked about contest experience, and Vairao is not far from Tehupo. And has he entered and been a part of your surf club at all, or is he kind of under the radar and just stays just a few kilometers away here in this town?
No, he just lives in Chopo. He's not a member of our club, so maybe he's gonna enter. We're gonna talk with him, and we're gonna try with him to find himself sponsors. I think
That's awesome. Bernadette, thank you so much for joining us and telling us just a little bit more in detail about what it has been to be a part of this event, bringing it into reality, as well as seeing an amazing reality come true with the Tahitian in the final. Let's see. But now we have live action. It is the podium final out in the water, and it has begun.
It has begun. So we are so happy to this morning. Also, we have waves and the sun. And the sun is back in Chopu. Maruru.
Thank you so much, Bernadette. She has been so wonderful, and we owe her a huge debt of gratitude. Here is our rider in red. It is Mike Stewart on his opening ride, covering himself up with the breaking crest of this wave. Getting in the tube, we call it. Nice barrel ride to start off. Kind of a frothing one, but a 6.33 awarded to Mike Stewart for his opening ride of this podium final.
I think he's just trying to catch up for lost time and lost wave riding from that last semifinal. And not a bad way to start right there with a solid 6.33. Again, the podium final. There's one spot left on the podium, third place, and who's going to take it will be determined by the next 23 minutes. Mike Stewart and Jared Houston facing off in this podium final.
We have 25 minutes. Just 2 minutes of them have passed so far. Jared Houston is sitting out the back with priority. And this podium final, we're so excited to be able to bring this to you because it allows more excitement, more entertainment, and more opportunity to see the best riders. These are the riders who've made it the farthest, and we're not done seeing them in the semi, even though they didn't make it to become a possible champion and get to the grand final, but they made it to the podium final. So let's see them again. Let's see them battle it out. And we know that there's probably a bit of energy still pent up in them. They wanted to make to the championship round, the grand final, but we're just short of that. So they probably have some energy to release. They certainly have some great riding to continue to show us. So this is an awesome opportunity for everybody, not only the spectators, but for them to show us a little bit more of why they are some of the top riders in this event. And like you said, only one of them will be able to make it up onto the podium. Only one of them will receive a third place trophy. And we're so glad that there's all four of them to make it here. Fourth place is just going to get points, money, and high fives from the boys. But it's this battle in the water over the next 22 minutes who will determine who makes it up onto the podium.
And you know what? I would do anything to watch Mike Stewart and Jared Houston go head-to-head in this wave any day. And here we are. And again, yeah, the spectators are stoked to be able to watch these two riders again face off in these conditions. You can see a little bit of texture on the water has started on the outside, but the bigger waves won't affect it too much, as if the lip maneuvers are still keep coming in, they're going to be hitting it hands down, no problem. And is that Brahim? Oh no, that's Angelo. Or is that their stunt double for both?
It's a stunt double for both. But one thing that is part of the conditions currently, not only is the wind not blowing offshore to keep it glassy, there's a little bit of texture like you mentioned, but yesterday the winds blew quite strong out of the southeast. That's put some wind chop into the lineup. That's why we're seeing only some of the waves come in with that real classic clean barrel, others with lots of lump and sections. So that's been a big factor today. And as the texture that you mentioned from the current wind conditions increase, we're going to see that kind of continue with the leftover factors that the wind had produced from yesterday.
What you're watching right now, again, is the podium final. And it is the second place finishers in the semifinals going to head for that third place spot on the podium. Again, thank you all for tuning in for the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. Manny V here with David Hubbard giving you the live feed from Te Ahupo'o. And a shout out to those who are in the comments box shooting and supporting comments for their favorite riders. Anya in Ireland, Yassif from Morocco, Dave in the UK, Gordo from New Zealand. I think Gordo's been on from day one, minute one, and he's been online pretty much every single minute. So
yeah,
shout
Gordo.
out. Yeah, Gordo. So he's from New Zealand. Johan from Senegal. Ocean from North Carolina. Nice to have you in here, Ocean. Victor from Venezuela as well. So thank you all for tuning in. If you want to shout out, throw your name and location in the comments box, and we'll do our best to give you a shout out. Again, the podium final out in the water, Mike Stewart facing off with Jared Houston.
Also in this podium final, they really want to push the limits. There's no real reason to surf a safe heat and surf conservatively, because this is their final opportunity. Let's see Jared Houston using his priority on this wave, hoping for a section, doesn't find what he was looking for, and he's going to cut out, paddle out the back. Now less than 20 minutes remaining. That was his first attempt. Stewart with priority, and this is shaping up to be an interesting battle, and it could totally come down to just the final moments. But let's see what happens during the rest of this heat before we move into the grand final. Stewart up and riding.
All right, Stewart negotiating around that section. As you can see, he's trying to see if it's worth going into that inside zone, and he opts to cut out of that one. So the waves not really being delivered right now in this first part of the heat, but a ton of time.
And we've seen some great efforts throughout the heats, and we did watch some of the highlights just then to see that there is awesome opportunity for scoring potential out in the water. We've seen some 8s dropped today, so great opportunity there. It's just about being able to select those waves. So Jared Houston now, he's going for it.
Jared Houston, nice clean bottom turn, comes around that section, has a little stall in the lip right there, but is able to pull that roll over and around, and he pulls it off nonetheless. So Jared's solid roll right there. Even though it wasn't projected, he was still able to pull it off. Looks like he has a little malfunction on his fins. Either fin came off or just double checking on his fin tethers.
Yeah, some sort of equipment issue there. Seems to be sorted now, and he's stroking back out. At this time, let's again, after this replay, thank our sponsors. Here's that bottom turn, huge bottom turn, and there, yes, he does have to stall. He does have to wait for that lip to throw so he can pull that rollo around. Now he's kind of sets himself up again, hoping for another section. Doesn't find it. Here's the front angle. Decent sized wave. Bottom turns around that first crumble. That's, part of that wind swell that's kind of just putting lump in the face. Gets the roll because he had to slow down coming around that first section. Vairao Surf Club, OPT, FTS, Air Tahiti Nui, TNTV, TBS 5, ISS Bodyboard King, JG Bodyboards, the Tahitian government, especially the sports minister, for helping this event become a reality. Our forecast sponsor, Magic Seaweed, media partner, U Riding.
U Riding? Yeah. Yes, U Riding, sorry. I'm trying to get the pieces together, but yeah, if you want to ride this wave like the pros, this is your time to do it. If you download U Riding, the Journey bodyboard game from the iOS or your Google Play Store, you can actually ride this. We actually have this event in the game where you can get scored accordingly in the video game, and we have a ton of prizes up for grabs. And currently right now winning is Mark Goodnow with a incredible score of 63,295 on this wave, Te Hupo'o, in the game. Just click on the U Riding link icon. Look at that guy, looks fierce. And if you go to his Instagram, you're going to see that he is a very talented surf photographer as well.
Tell me, does the event close on this U Riding at the end of the waiting period or at the end of this specific event, so once the finals close?
I will tell you that in a second, but the event in the game will last all the way through the contest window, May 2nd. So yeah,
Got it.
You can still play. And here's another quick look of what kind of action you can do from the Sparkgreen TD Challenge in the game. So yeah, that's going to be the fun you can have once this event is over. You can still keep playing in the game.
Very cool. Awesome. So you riding and working with the APB. Really cool. So this is awesome. We are at the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. We did have a ride from both competitors while those graphics were up. We'll probably be able to bring you the replay. Just taking a peek at the score lines. Doesn't look like much has occurred score-wise. Here's Roy Overstreet.
Yes, Roy Overstreet. Super amped to be here. Super stoked. He doesn't want to go home.
No way. He's loving it here, but he's now living in Hawaii, so he's not in a bad place to go home when he does. And yeah, just a really genuine fella. Really great to have him here at the event and supporting, and he's been sitting in the channel just watching very closely at how these guys do what they do. It's incredible to watch. We're so glad that you tuned in to the apbtour.com to watch live Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. We are in the podium final.
Yes.
And our champion is yet to be crowned, but will be probably in the next 45 minutes. We'll have our first Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge champion in the last 13 years.
13 minutes. that is a ton of time for situations to change. Not only once, twice, maybe 3 times before the end of the heat. So it's going to be, it's going to come all the way down to the wire, especially with these two guys who can, put it down and get an 8-point ride, 9-point ride, and possibly even the first 10-point ride of the day.
Well, we saw an incredible performance in the podium final in Puerto Rico with the move of the event done by Jacob Romero. Huge air reverse, so you are alluding to the possibilities that this podium final brings into the event, an opportunity to see the best riders of this event. They've made it all the way here to the final day. They've made it all the way to the top 4 placings, and now they're pushing it. Jared Houston live action.
Jared Houston, the South African, coming around this section, looking for a lip maneuver. Big extended roll right there. Arms were fully extended, lands, and then kicks out of that wave. So Jared Houston definitely will have the best score of his heat with that maneuver right there.
And I was impressed on the strategy he's taken at this point. He paddled himself quite a ways up the point. On the replay, we'll see where he hit the Rolo was typically where people sometimes are taking off. So he was way deep, knew that for sure he'd get a lip section. Check it out. He's way up the point. Takes a lot of speed into this inside section. Again, he goes up for that Rolo. There we see the inside section actually breaking in front of him, and he completes that Rolo. Let's see this land angle, always so interesting when we have the opportunity to view it. And he takes a lot of speed here, mid-face bottom turn, because he can't go all the way to the bottom because that section is actually throwing bigger and thicker than the one he came from. And he completed a nice roll, dives out under a lot of duress because that section totally would have mowed him down. If he's able to get under it, he can get back out, and we're nearing the halfway point in this heat.
Wow, when there's no waves in a heat, time seems to drag on. But if you're in the heat and you have the lead, it seems to be, or if you're not in the lead, then it seems like it's going by quick. But yeah, this 25-minute podium final will be followed by a 30-minute final where you're going to see the lone Tahitian, the underdog, the dark horse, Cedric Estal, going against multiple world champion Jeff Hubbard. That will be coming up next. You don't want to miss that. But Mike Stewart and Jared Houston going head-to-head for that one spot on the podium, 3rd place spot, and the winner's going to take that.
Scores dropping for that last ride of Jared Houston of 5.53 puts him into the lead. Mike Stewart now only chasing a 3.88. He's sitting with priority, but Jared Houston also looking to ditch that 4.67 and continue to add the pressure onto Mike Stewart. There is
what's going through his mind right now.
Our Tahitian finalist. I don't think there's a whole lot going through his mind. I think he's pretty chill, collected. I had a brief opportunity to speak with him this morning, made sure he knew that there was going to be 2 heats for him to surf, a semifinal and a final, whether it was the podium or whether it was the grand final. It was his performance in the semis to conclude that.
Oh, look at this. Live action. Mike Stewart dropping in on a pretty good size wave. Nice, clean carve back into the power zone. Tries to find a barrel, and he does, and he comes out of there. Is he going to have the opportunity to hit the lip? No, but a clean, safe, nice, clean barrel ride maneuver on that wave. Pretty perfect.
Well, I'll tell you, as we enter into the final 10 minutes of this podium final, it is Mike Stewart who has had the best 2 rides of this heat. Scores are yet to drop for his last ride, but I will not be surprised if it is obviously going to be better than the ones he has. But look at the setup. Look at the technicality. He puts the carve there, and he waits patiently for this inside section, and that's when the wave runs.
And that's when it hits that inside section where it gets super, super shallow, maybe 3-4 feet deep at the max. But you can see this the skills and the knowledge he has on this wave is, you're watching it, how to ride it properly. Finds that barrel, holding on, dragging his legs as much as he can to slow down in the barrel, and he gets as much barrel time as he can if he wants to come out of there clean, and he rode that pretty perfect.
I stand corrected. It's a 4.23, so it's not as good as Jared's 2 scores, but it is enough for Mike Stewart to regain the lead. He now has cumulative score of 10.56. Jared with a 10.2. These riders are very close, very evenly matched at this point with their rides. It's Stewart with the best wave of the heat thus far, but it's Jared Houston sitting in priority, looking to improve on that 4.67. Only needs a 5.04.
You know what? 52 years old, Mike Stewart. He's out here. I mean, he's in the podium final. I mean, how is he doing it? I mean,
well, 52 years young, Manny. He
you
is
know what? I
super
stand
fit.
corrected. You are correct.
He's super fit. He eats really healthy. I've been rooming with him. He is totally mindful of his regimen, and he's been doing this for so long. He knows what to do to keep his body in peak physical form. It wasn't very long ago that some of his closest friends told me that he's in the best shape of his life.
Wow.
So that may have been before the shoulder surgery, and he's on the tail end recovering side of a shoulder surgery. That's why he didn't compete in APB's first event this year. But he is obviously in great form, recovering very well from a surgery that only took place a couple months ago.
Physically, of course, he's at the top of his game right now at 52 years old. But how do you maintain and how do you keep calm and cool when you're going against these young guns like Jared Houston, for instance? I mean, does he obviously doesn't let the age affect him?
Well, not at all. And you got to remember, he's been battling young guns since the days of Andre Botha, 16 and 17-year-old world championship titles those years so long ago. So, young guns, I don't think intimidate him one bit.
I think you're right.
I think it's the wisdom, experience that he has at his age that allows him to be confident coming up against some of the youngest and most prominent names of this day and age. Jared Houston's our current world champion, and Mike Stewart, a previous world champion. So, you just fiddle with the hands on a clock, and both these guys are at the top of the game.
That's it. So I guess he's got the full ready, the everything you need for the solid package to be able to make it this far in the international arena when it comes to bodyboarding. I don't think you know what? I can totally see him here when he's 65.
I think we could easily see that, and
the question is, where are we going to be? Where are we going to be when we're 65? Hopefully I'm not in Baja selling tacos on the side of the road. Or maybe. I'll be happy with that. Mike Stewart leading the charge. Jared Houston in second place right now in South Africa. This is the podium final. Once again, the podium final, which means we are determining who will end up in third and who will end up in fourth place. And there will only be one spot on the podium remaining after first and second are determined in the final, and it's going to be Mike Stewart or Jared Houston who will take that podium spot.
Time is winding down. It may be coming down to the last rides of either of these competitors to determine exactly that, Manny. Who will wind up on the podium? We'll have to see. Just a little over 5 minutes remaining. Jared Houston still sitting with priority, still totally within striking distance, only needs an average score, and here he goes.
Jared Houston, if we can look over that whitewash, nice angle, comes around the section. Again, kind of like a slow motion roll, but is able to pull it around, and he's going to hold on to this, go to the inside section. Is he going to hit it again? And he goes for an invert on the inside right there. How deep is it?
It's almost dry reef. It was probably about 1 or 2 feet. There, we're going to see him stand up on the reef right after that. So after that Rolo, Manny, he knew that if he wanted to make that wave count, if he wanted to stretch and overtake Mike's lead, he's going to have to do another maneuver. Tehupo often offers an inside closeout section with which almost nobody hits.
Yeah.
Here's the bottom turn. Here's this clean approach. Not a whole lot to offer, but a clean Rolo. Again, he's stalling at the top to make sure he can get the whole Rolo completed. He puts it in a decent spot on the wave, and now he's going to eye up that inside section. Here again, slowing down, getting that roll, being very patient, very precise. Really tricky outside section to hit right now. And now he's going to mediate his speed so he can get back in the speed section. Take all the speed right now. He's going to bottom turn, find the section. He eyes it up, and just a kind of classy little cute invert on the inside. But I tell you, that's likely to bring him back into first place. 5.53 awarded I think. Oh no, we're still waiting. We're still waiting.
Yes. But yeah, I think that wave right there, he was looking for a 5.04, and that will definitely be in contention for that, if not a little bit more than that. So Jared Houston waiting for that score to drop, as well as we are here in the booth, and you'll probably see the change go down as instantly once it comes up, and I think that might be it up on the score, and you're right.
So it is a 5.53. It is confirmed now. He is in first place. Now Stuart is in the need of a 4.74. He has the highest wave of this heat so far, and he has priority. 3 minutes remaining, and look at these sets out the back. Is he in position?
Oh my, are they in position? No, Jared Houston and Mike going under that wave right there. But these bigger ones seem to be washing through the reef, offering not much.
But sometimes after the sets, a nice one will sneak into the inside section, a little bit smaller, but after a bigger wave, it can kind of clean up some of the bump and kind of smooth out the playing field, as it were, and give the wave an opportunity to hit that smooth inside section and barrel off. So let's see. Only time's gonna tell.
If you are just tuning in, again, welcome to the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. This is the podium final. This is determining who will end up in third and who will end up in fourth place. Following this heat, we will have a 30-minute final with the lone horse, the dark horse, Cedric Estal, the lone Tahitian in this final, or in this event, will go head-to-head with Jeff Hubbard. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be a fun heat to watch. I'm crossing my fingers, and we've talked about it before. Usually when there's a slow heat for waves, the next heat will come back firing with 1, maybe 2 or 3 set waves in that time, and 30 minutes is going to help us out.
30 minutes will really improve our competitors' situation and opportunity to get high scores. We want to see good action. We want to see big scoring efforts, and we're hoping for that not only in the last minute and a half of this heat, but especially in the grand final coming up next.
Yes. So Jeff Hubbard going against Cedric Estal, the Tahitian, coming up next. And if you are tuned in, now is your opportunity to save some coin. If you go to one of our sponsors' web store, bodyboardking.com, that is Toby Player's little baby, and he's doing absolutely very well with bodyboardking.com. Based in Australia, but you can still order internationally. APB 10% off on bodyboardking.com. Look at this.
Jared Houston, current heat leader, looking to put the legs in and stall for this inside section. Goes up for a nice flip. If he can complete that, it's tricky to tell. But we had a nice land angle. It's Stewart out the back. Final minute. He cuts out. He didn't see opportunity on that ride for what he needed. He's quickly paddling. There could be something out the back.
I am not 100% sure if we're still on the interview, but let's see Mike Stewart. This will be, I think, the last wave of the heat for Mike. Slides under the lip, finds a little pocket, little barrel, goes through the lip, forces that roll. Is he going to come around the section and hit it again? No. He cuts out of there. He was on the hunt for a 4.74. And I think Revatui is taking hold right now of that interview. But 1 second. Oh, Jared Houston, did he pull it off? We are still waiting for the scores to drop. So what you see on your screen right now is not the final score, but let's take another look at what just went down.
I think this would have improved on the 5.53 had he completed it. It's up to the judges to totally determine that. A nice backflip there, critical, barreling. He fights to make it around. And that's, I don't know, that's up to the judges. That seemed pretty complete to me.
Yep.
Here's Stewart tucking under, barely, that's called a barely, when they barely get barreled. And now he's looking for a rollo, really fights through tons of whitewater to get there. And he puts that bald head down to muscle and torpedo through the whitewater. I tell you what, Manny, had he gotten around that section and gotten one more maneuver on the wave, it might have been enough. I'm kind of doubting that it was, and we're waiting for the ultimate final official results. I At the same time, we're standing by to start the grand final.
Oh my, yes, we're still waiting for the scores to drop. Jared Houston waiting as well. Again, we just finished the podium final, and the podium final will determine who is third and fourth place in this event.
Third place is going to Jared Houston, 617, awarded for that flip. They deemed it complete. Mike Stewart only getting a 333 on his last ride. It's official. Jared Houston, third place, and Mike Stewart just narrowly missing the podium. Final has begun. Jeff Hubbard.
Yes, I think I heard the horn, and Jeff Hubbard firing off with his first wave and going through a big ARS on the inside, lands with a ton of speed, and he kicks out of that. So a solid wave right off the bat for Jeff Hubbard. Multiple world champion, knows what it takes to win an international event like this here. The Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge has begun. Jeff Hubbard.
Great way to start. Jeff's watched the conditions all morning, and he knows he should get this started. He sees Cedric paddling, so he knows something could be up, and there could be a good reason to go. No priority at the start. So he takes this speed from the outside up to this section, and here's where we see that nice ARS, air roll spin.
Oh my goodness.
Flips it around, lands it complete, smooth, lots of air. Here we see he's kind of on that back outside section, and then he has to stall right there just to make sure he's going to find a lip. There he guns it, takes that speed up, nice clean ARS, beautifully
oh my goodness
performed. Great wave to start for Jeff. And I tell you what, he's been watching these conditions. He knows to start early. You've mentioned the GTS, but also even though it's 30 minutes, Manny, you don't know what's going to happen in the back half of the heat. A squall could come. So,
Exactly.
I mean, scoring potential could virtually disappear. So starting the heat with a 7-point ride, we see the score now, is a great way to start his campaign. It leaves Cedric with priority, but it's a great opening ride for Jeff.
You nailed that right on the dot. But let's see what Cedric Estal, the lone Tahitian in the event, in the final, tries to find a little barrel and gets covered up and comes out clean. Now, is he going to hit that inside section? And he does. He goes for an invert on the inside, and he's a tall kid. He better lift his knees or they're going to get scraped up. It looks like he may be working his way into the inside and may take a ride on the jet ski, which will pick him up and take him down the beach, inside, and around the reef, and that right there will cost him time.
It will. Check this replay. It's an insider. He scoots in. The wave starts breaking on him. He manages to get under the curl just for a fraction of a second there. He continues around, but this is the final. This is for everything. So he's not done after that little cover-up. He wants another maneuver. I think it's very smart, if he wants this score to count, to take it into this inside and hit this closeout section, even though it's very shallow. He gets good projection, even though he fights through the lip. Clean invert, and then instead of cutting out here, he's going to say, hey, 3 minutes later, I'll be back out with having spent no energy. And even though he could have easily just pulled out, walked off the back, jumped back in, that would have been all energy that he was expending. So he says, I'll spend some minutes, save the energy.
Your third, and what did you do?
Geez, it was a hard heat. It was so slow. The waves are getting pretty junky right now, but yeah, it was the first time I ever surfed that consolation final, and it's pretty hard to find the motivation, because you still got to fight it out for that third place. Third definitely means more than a fourth. So I got pretty excited at the end and managed to put it together. So I'm stoked with my second third of the year, and yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, congratulations again. And you for Cedric or Jeff?
Jeez, yeah, Jeff's a really good friend of mine, so I'd love to see him win, but it's going to be incredible if Cedric wins. It's I don't think I've been to an event in a while where a local guy's made the final, especially at an event where all the best guys in the world are here. So I think all the Tahitians can be very, very proud of Cedric, and yeah, I guess I don't know. May the best man win.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Thank you so much. Congrats.
Wow, looks like Jeff Hubbard putting together another nice piece of work on this wave. How many more maneuvers can he squeeze in there? That was a solid run for Jeff Hubbard. But Jared Houston.
and here's to a big future.
Ok,
Thank
merci.
you.
Merci à la terre entière.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. And yes, Jared Houston is stoked.
He's stoked. Second, third place this year. He got third place at Pipe, third place now. Jeff Hubbard on his second ride.
Man, he put together, I don't know how many moves, but did you see just the look of where he was going, where he's going to land? Nice, clean ARS. How did he get that projection off of that lip right there? Jeff Hubbard can pull that off, but here he is going straight into his spin. You can saw his legs spread to slow him down, and then goes into a spin, comes off the bottom, goes into another roll. All of that within a 20-foot span. That was incredible riding right there from Jeff Hubbard.
It was a great way to get a backup wave on the board. So now he will be working with a total that he knows what he'll need to improve. So very strategic, very good effort. Set's approaching. Cedric's out the back with priority.
Oh my, is Cedric in position? No, again, one of these bigger ones, but he's in position for that wave that could come after the set waves, but the set waves, most of them are just washing through, and here's what we're talking about. Look at that.
It's coming in just a little bit cleaner, just a little bit further inside. Like you said, some of the set waves kind of breaking wide, just kind of a big peak mushing out and into the channel.
Yep.
So 5.6 awarded for Jeff's last ride, and 4.77 is what Cedric earned on his first. So we're starting to see this grand final take shape.
Yeah, I mean, 23 minutes remaining. It's like a whole new heat. So if they want to press the reset button, they can. It's still in contention. But Jeff Hubbard's 7-point ride right off the bat, definitely, as you mentioned, it could come into being a crucial part at the end of this heat. So far, so good on the weather, though.
Right. We've had sunny skies, blue weather, knock on wood, or whatever you want to do that we can not only finish this, but our
All right.
podium.
Yes, the Tahitian dropping in on a pretty good sized wave. Not much there, and just kicks out, hits a little chop, and ducks out of that one. So Cedric Estal, again, ton of time as the Peanut Gallery in the channel. Standing by. Oh, my God. Look at this
Here's
one.
Jeff. Nice size wave. Goes straight up through the lip roll. Will he continue on or will he cut out? He decides to opt out of that one. But just a small exchange for both riders on that last little effort. And, only having to surf 3 heats today, but Cedric only having to surf 2. So there's a difference in the energy needed to be expended for both these riders.
Here's another look at Jeff's wave. As you can see perfectly, well, he came a little late through the lip roll, but still perfectly executed. And that was the only maneuver he pulled off on this wave. Again, just a nice cylindrical roll, lands perfectly on the whitewash, nice and soft, and lands and gets out of there no problem. So Jeff Hubbard clocking in his 3rd wave of the heat. Another look at beautiful Tahiti. Oh my gosh, this is paradise.
It is incredibly beautiful, gorgeous. Not only the mountains, the waves, the reefs, but the people and the culture here are just amazing. Just so great to be here. So great to be bringing you the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge, the APB's 2nd event this year of 2016.
Yes, thank you all for tuning in. And now is the last chance. If you want to shout out, give me your first name and where you are located, what country you are tuning in from, and we'll do our best to give you a shout out. So that will be in our comments box underneath the live feed. So first name and the country, go for it in the comments box. And thank you all for tuning in. Gracias a todos. And Maruru, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is great. Thank you to Tahiti for welcoming us to this event, and we're so stoked that there are 2 islanders in this final, a Hawaiian and a Tahitian, basically island chain relatives, kind of distant cousins. And let's take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Vaira'u Surf Club, OPT, FTS, Air Tahiti Nui, TBS5 and TNTV, as well as U Riding, media partners, ISS Bodyboard King, JG Bodyboards, as well as the Sports Minister helping to line up the Tahitian government support, And wow, look at the arena that we have this venue at. This is the carnival-like atmosphere to be expectant in the channel. Boats, floating people. Cedric.
Cedric Estelle, the Tahitian in the red jersey, dropping in on a pretty good size one. What's it going to do on the inside is the question. Hitting the brakes, trying to get that cover up on the inside. Opts to go around and goes for a lip maneuver, an invert. Oh, and he pushes through, but look at this, Jeff Hubbard.
Out the back with a nice barrel. He's continuing on, throws a nice cut back. Let's see what else shapes up on the inside. He doesn't find much. He ends up cutting out of that. I'm interested to see if Cedric, again, chose the jet ski ride. One thing, growing up as a local here, is you don't really get the jet ski ride almost.
Maybe he's taking advantage.
Hey, maybe just take full advantage. Hey, I'm surfing my home spot, just a couple guys out, everyone's watching, all eyes on me, and hey, I'm getting shuttled to and fro. Let's just take a full advantage of that. So he might be on the jet ski again, getting whisked back out the back. Jeff Hubbard taking every opportunity to paddle himself back to the lineup. This is his third heat today. Cedric's surfed 2. Well, this is his second. And we are kind of getting close to the 2/3 point in this heat. And it is shaping up. We've seen that 7-point ride, best score yet, and some average to good scores since then.
And if you didn't hear before, one of our sponsors, bodyboardking.com, if you want 10% off any your next sale on your next purchase, APB10 is the code to use. Back to the replay.
Cedric Stahl eyeing up that nice bowl, gets up there and then tweaks the board. He is able to land this maneuver and rides out straight. So that will be falling into a scoreline for the time being, but it's Jeff Hubbard behind on a nice, clean, medium-sized wave. Just gets a little welcoming committee as well as a small, tight exit. He gets a little airborne, getting shot out of that tube, and now he's going to set up the carve.
Oh, my goodness.
There he comes out high and tight. It's like no one's in there. But there is. It's Jeff Hubbard. He's leading this grand final, and here's the cutback.
So, again, the reason we're running today for the last day, we are running out of days in the contest window, and today seemed to be the perfect day with not so good winds and a decrease in swell towards the end of our contest window. This was the best option.
Tell you what, Manny, we would have ran more heats on previous days, but we got shut down. The weather just told us that's all she wrote for each day, so we had to stop early on day 3, I think.
It's crazy.
And 2 days ago, we expected to run the entire event all the way through to these finals. We got stopped short again, so we had to go to plan C, contingency plan, and here we are. That's what the trophy looks like.
Yes, and we're hopefully they'll bring it over here so we can show you as well. But yeah, the trophies are starting to get ready. The checks are starting to be written.
The drums are being beat behind us. We hear the
Yes.
Tahitian drums, part of every ceremony, and it is awesome. Scores do appear 6-4-3 for Jeff's barrel ride. He was able to get a short score after that, a 3.50. But it's that small invert on the inside that gets Cedric his highest score thus far, but still unable to break the 5-point range. It's a 4.93. That gives Cedric a total just under 10 points, but Jeff sitting with 13.5 roundabout and priority.
All right. Well, it looks like Bernadette did make her way over here, and wow, this is here you go. Can you? Yeah, there we go. Boom. All right, but yeah, look at this beautiful thing. This thing is amazing. The trophy, first place trophy.
One of the most beautiful trophies we've seen on the APB Tour in recent history. Just beautiful mother of pearl, as well as just decorative designs. That Sparkgreen coming in a lucid green. Just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just a gorgeous trophy.
So this piece right here is made out of pearl?
I think all 3 of those are made with pearl.
Oh,
but
my
especially
God.
the emblem there. Beautiful. Just beautiful. That's going to our champion. That's the first place trophy going to the champion of the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge.
And we're going to know who that is in about 15 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the final. And right now it looks like Jeff Hubbard is in a commanding lead, but man, the Tahitian has been just stomping his way through the event. And here he is in the final. And you know what? I'm not going to put it past anybody, but there is always that chance of the Tahitian taking away this thing as well.
For sure. Jeff's surfing a really smart heat. He's got the best waves thus far, but we've seen Cedric do it in other heats, and this is his local spot. If the spot is going to cooperate for anyone, I wouldn't be surprised at all if a perfect wave came in
Exactly.
just for him and barreled around him and gave him everything he needed to get an amazing score. Only time will tell, and we're past the halfway mark now. It's Jeff Hubbard sitting in the lead somewhat comfortably. Cedric Estal needs an excellent ride to overtake the lead held by Jeff Hubbard. This is the grand final. We are going to crown the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge champion in just about 15 minutes. Super exciting. And wow, what an event this has been, Manny.
Oh my God, it's been a handful. We've had just some behind the scenes madness, and we've had some madness out in the ocean as well. The squalls are I'm still a little bit traumatized by those. And I know you were traumatized for a few seconds.
For sure.
If you haven't seen the video of David Hubbard on social media, please. Actually, it's on Jacob Romero's Facebook page. So if you know Jacob Romero, go check it out, and you'll see just the terror in his eyes.
Fear just exploding and through the emotions for sure. But now we have excitement and adrenaline coursing through the veins, not only of our grand finalists,
Yes,
but of all the Tahitians here. The energy is high. There is mana or power to be felt as the nation of Whenua, all of French Polynesia, especially here on Tahiti, is behind and backing and rooting on their homegrown hero, Cedric Estal. And I tell you what, his father, Vatea, couldn't be prouder and happier. And this is a great moment, not only for the Estal family, but the whole town of Tehupo. I don't think ever in a wave riding event of this magnitude has a local from this region made it this far, and really showing how much talent there is here. And that just kind of goes hand in hand with the venue. If this is one of the best waves and regarded as one of the premier venues, not only for wave riding, free surfing, but competition, it's only natural that this venue would be producing some of the most talented wave riders themselves.
you're right. I mean, we're just minutes away from tons of other reef breaks, and these guys are charging some of the heavy swells that are rolling in, and guaranteed if some of the big swells rolled in during this event, we probably would have possibly could have had a double Tahitian final.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised. I made some early claims to people back home. I expected wild cards and tri-lists to make an incredible showing here, specifically at this event. They always make a great showing and do well, but I was anticipating them making it further in this event than any others that we'll see on the APB Tour this year or even in recent years. Using his priority now, Cedric Estal. There has been a shift in priority, I believe. Jeff Hubbard kind of raised his hand to signal that he was yielding to Cedric's paddle. And now it's Jeff looking at this insider. And he scoops in under the barrel, gets a nice pit. Now it's barreling again on the inside. He kind of doggy doors it, but the lip lands right on him, and he gets out.
Wow, that was pretty intense right here. But look at this. Out the back, Cedric Estal, the Tahitian in the red jersey. He's coming up next. Is he going to hit the lip on this inside section? No. And Jeff Hubbard on the inside. I think he's gonna opt to paddle back out right there. And Cedric, oh my God, that was pretty crucial right there in a quick little exchange of priority, and it was in favor of Jeff Hubbard.
Yeah, that was really interesting the way that went down. I think there was competition experience that paid dividends to
Oh,
Jeff
yeah.
Hubbard. Cedric thinking that wave was good. Jeff Hubbard now with priority, he went way inside to get deep for this one and got a nice cover up, and then he even tried to get another cover
Look
up.
at that.
He's trying to replace a 6-4-3. We'll wait and see where it scores in the score line. Here's the nice cover up to start. Doesn't get super deep, doesn't ride it for super long, but then he takes a lot of speed to this inside section, kind of gets the little bonus element of another quick cover up here, and then he just tries to get out. Oh, and the lip just breaks on him, and he shows completion and dips out. Cedric was hoping that this wave was going to cooperate. He takes a nice slow approach, slowly scoops down. If this thing had freight trained, I tell you, he could have got that excellent score he needs. But it just threw behind him, didn't necessarily get like super hollow or throw super hard, and it didn't offer him too much. He ends up cutting out. So Jeff Hubbard did end up getting lagooned after that wave. He just whizzed by us on the jet ski. We're into the final third of this heat, less than 10 minutes remaining. Cedric's going to be all alone for the next possibly 90 seconds while Jeff takes his time to re-enter the lineup, first via jet ski, and then from the drop-off point, he'll have to paddle himself to the peak. And this is going to allow Cedric to take any wave he wants, but he also has priority. So once Jeff does get out there, he can still take any wave he wants until he paddles for the next ride.
Well, probably a smart choice right there for Jeff. He was pretty much far on the inside reef, so getting that jet ski still has enough time under his belt. So, but oh my God, Cedric Estal, now he is looking for a super high scoring wave right there to get back in contention for that first place ride. But man, look at that. I'm sorry, but I'm in awe of this place every time we get that view from the channel. Again, a quick shout out to everybody who's tuning in from all over the world. And look at this. Looks like we may have a ride up for the Tahitian up and riding.
Cedric Estal, he's looking for this. He's hoping for a barrel. It gives him a frothy piece to work with. He's just negotiating a bunch of white water. Never really gets covered up. Takes it all the way in, throws a little Sweet Sally Jam before opting to ride straight over the lagoon. He's now only going to have... Oh, wait. He quickly gets out. Now we see him walking. Now he's going to kind of reassess. He knows this spot well enough. If he sees enough distance that he could re-clear the lagoon, he might make a run on that reef to get back out. Or he'll say, I only needed 5 minutes to do this, and he might take the jet ski ride.
Yeah, this wave didn't shape up as much as he wanted, but you saw him try to tuck into the barrel, but the texture on the wave just made the wave... just fall over on itself and not create that barrel that all the riders are looking for. And he tried to find it again on the inside, and he gets a couple little head dips right there. And here he's like, you know what, I'm still going to go try to do a move. And when he went up there, it was not there for him. So, yeah, those are you're going to see a quick look at that trophy, which will be hopefully marched into our booth here. But shout out to everybody. Let's see. As soon as I threw that last request out, oh my, the list just went crazy. But I'm going to start reading some names for all those viewers that are tuned in. So Tony, Orlando, Hereb, and Jorge from Puerto Rico, Albert in South Africa, Jordan in Mexico, Simon, Dre, and Craig from South Africa, Diogo, Portugal. We also have Renato in Portugal, Rafael in Ecuador, Wes in Cali, Alex in Reunion Island, Team Koki, John, UK, and I'll get to the rest of the names before the last transmission. Hopefully, I'm not going to promise, but thank you all for tuning in. You guys are making it happen. I appreciate it. We have about 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, so it could come down to the wire again with Cedric Estal, the Tahitian. In the last few minutes, we've seen him pull out the stop in the previous heat. So, oh my goodness.
Yeah, anything could happen. Scores for the last exchange, not really going to change anything on the situation. With 6 minutes remaining, Cedric still needs an excellent ride of an 8.5. Jeff Hubbard sitting with priority, and he's sitting on a 7 and a 6.43 to hold his cumulative that is giving him the lead. And he's he's going to be hunting out there. What is this, Manny?
This is going to be the perpetual trophy. This is going to stay here in this. It's going to stay here in Tahiti. But from this point on, we're going to put down the names of the winners of this event. And this thing is pretty cool. I thought it was going to be heavy, but it's actual foam. It's a
Beautiful.
foam bodyboard. So this thing is pretty awesome.
It's gorgeous.
Can you sketch my name in there real quick?
You need to be the champion to get there. So
All right, that's
just
probably
a
not going to happen
beautiful,
then.
Beautiful. We see mountains, waves, ocean. And here's Jeff Hubbard. And he does not get a score off that ride, but he used priority. And wow, what a cool trophy they just showed us. That's great to have a perpetual trophy that will stay here. We hope to be returning next year and etching another name into that Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge.
All right, Cedric Estelle, the Tahitian, now having an uphill battle if he wants to win this event. And I'm not going to put him past him. I mean, he's still in the contention. He's not in combination land, which means he does have scores to that he can still use to come out ahead of Jeff, but it's a high score. He needs an 8.51, as you can see on your screen. And Jeff Hubbard, he's looking very comfortable. He's cool and calm. This is the final to determine first and second place of the event. And this is the first time in history we have a Tahitian, a local, in the final.
I could be going out on a limb, but to say that it's the first Tahitian to ever make an APB Tour final, I'm so stoked that it's here on home turf.
Oh, can you imagine? No matter what, we're going to have a party tonight in Tahiti.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Everybody's stoked. Everybody's joyous to have not only a very talented local Tahitian in the final, but also Jeff Hubbard. I would go out on a limb again to say that he's the preferred or favorite rider who holds the popularity of the Tahitian people. They love his approach. He's been here many times, but it's the aerials that really draw the young generation of Tahitians to put those posters of Jeff Hubbard up on the wall.
Yes.
And clamor at him for autographs and photo opportunities. So I tell you what, they are stoked. This final couldn't have worked out better, I don't think, for the Tahitians in general.
I think you nailed it again. So yes, the Tahitian Cedric Estelle making a name for himself here in some smaller conditions. We know he's a big wave charger, and he would love more than anybody to be out there with Jeff in some bigger conditions. But I mean, he's proven himself to be able to come through in these conditions as well.
Yes, Cedric Estelle began making a real name for himself among bodyboarders and surfers alike, charging huge days out here at Teupo'o and going for big aerial maneuvers. Just really impressive, really difficult to hit sections once it gets 8 feet and above, but Cedric will do that. And a lot of the local Tahitians, the other top Tahitians, regard him as pretty much the best once it gets big out here.
Coming down to the wire, 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Is that going to be the end of the road for Cedric Estelle and coming in second, which is not a bad deal? Or can he find that 8.51 ride? Look at Jared Houston, the South African, making his way back to the boat to return his jersey and make his way to the podium. He's got that last spot on the podium, third place.
So cool. So cool.
So, yeah, we're going to get the finalists and Jared Houston to the beach, where I believe we're trying to set up Eric Apple to interview these finalists, podium finishers, and hopefully that'll be coming up right after the final. So hang tight, hang with us until the last minute and a half in this heat and a few minutes as we get all the finalists to the beach.
And what an amazing ride this has been. The 2016 Sparkgreen Challenge, plenty of action and energy, twists and turns. Tons of Tahitians made it through the trials, as well as some event sponsors like JG, Jared Gibson himself, as well as a handful of other riders. And now we have pushed through the main event. It has run its course, and we've established third and fourth place, respectively. And we are just a minute away from crowning the Tahitian Sparkgreen Challenge champion.
Oh my, 40 seconds. Can he do it? Can Cedric Estelle find a wave? I don't think Jeff Hubbard's going to let that happen with priority in his hands as he fends off Cedric on one wave there. 30 seconds remaining. Oh, my goodness. So there you have it. It could be coming down to the wire right here where Jeff Hubbard walks away and adds his name to the likes of Ryan Hardy, 2000. Guillermo Tamega, 2001, and Damian King, 2003, 2004. 7 seconds remaining. Jeff Hubbard will be number 4, the 4th person to have a title here and in Tahiti. Is that it?
Your 2016 Sparkgreen champion, Jeffrey Hubbard.
Woo!
There's the embrace between our runner-up, Cedric Costal, the local Tahitian.
Yes.
Solid camaraderie. Wonderful
So
moment
stoked.
exchanged there.
I got
and
chills.
it is Jeff Hubbard who wins the event, and he is just delighted. He's put in a solid run, a hard
Oh, my God.
campaign. 3rd heat today for Jeff Hubbard. He is stoked. He made it all the way to the grand final. And there we have the jet skis. Going to pick up our homeboys.
That's your brother out there, dude.
I know. He's amped. So am I.
Yes.
Everybody's stoked. This has been a wonderful way to wrap up this historic event.
Oh, hold on, dude. Hold on. Yeah, so Jeff Hubbard, your 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge champion, Jeff Hubbard from Hawaii. He is stoked.
Yeah, look at that. He's got some scratches on the bottom of his board. He's had some close encounters with the reef.
Oh.
And he's charged some big aerial maneuvers as well as gotten some killer barrels to get here. And there's his solid speech. He's addressing the channel. And there's Max Wasna giving him a handshake. He's going to give him a ride in.
Oh, I'm pretty stoked for him, and I'm stoked for all the competitors, including the lone Tahitian in the final, Cedric Estelle, the 28-year-old, born and raised in Tahiti. And here he is making a name for himself and putting up a great fight in the final. But yes, it is that guy right there. Whoa! Jared Houston pulling in Jeff Hubbard into the water. Really good friends right there. Jared Houston, the South African, ended up in 3rd place. Tanner McDaniel giving a shout out, giving a hug to Jeff Hubbard. I think everybody is going to jump off the boats and go say hi. Jared Gibson. I mean, everybody in the channel is super stoked right now for the look at Lachlan Cramsey. Everybody's getting over there to say congratulations to Jeff Hubbard.
Could be a big flotilla just surrounding and just soaking up all that energy. Gentleman's clap and a solid, congratulatory for our runner-up, Cedric Estelle. He's wrapped in the Tahitian and French Polynesian flag there.
Nice.
And these guys
Tahiti.
are on the top of the world.
Cedric being driven on the jet ski by the White Mamba himself, Tahiti Henry, another legend here in Tahiti. So they're going to get brought into the beach right now, and we're going to have a presentation on the beach. But wow, it's been a seriously action-packed behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. Everything has been pretty awesome here so far, it's going to be awesome when we leave too. This place is amazing. Again, the final results for the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge.
Runner-up, Cedric Estelle, the local Tahitian from Tehupo'o, the end of the road. Just a master of this wave. Made it all the way to the grand final, but was overcome by Jeff Hubbard, previous competitor here in Tahiti, as well as just a dominant force in the professional realm of bodyboarding for the last several decades. Jeffrey Hubbard, 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge champion. Look at that flotilla. Woo! The channel is just erupting, just vibrating with energy. People are super stoked, and this is a great day. The sun is out. We had solid waves. Competitors put up big scores, and ultimately it was that 7-point ride that put Jeff Hubbard above Cedric and he was able to complete it.
Wow.
Take it all the way.
Mike Stewart giving a shout out to Jeff Hubbard. Jeff Hubbard again winning the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. He is super pumped. And you know what? I sat next to him at dinner last night, and I can see it in his eyes. He knew if he could advance on out of that heat, the first heat that he had of the day, he would have end up in the final. And here he is winning the entire event. So Jeff Hubbard's super amped, super stoked, and I think we're going to be lining up Eric Apple on the beach. We're not 100% sure, but we are bringing in the finalists to the beach right now. And wow, look at him. Jeff's super amped.
He is super stoked. This is what he lives for. He lives for these kind of moments, and he has just won another APB World Tour event, a 3-star event here in Tahiti, getting him 4,000 points. There's Cedric Astal, just all smiles. I don't know if that smile is going to leave his face all day. He's just super stoked, super calm. But there's some embraces from some bearded brethren. Garth McGregor, Roy Overstreet getting in on the action. We might even have an interview from Revatua coming up soon. Cedric getting in there, getting onto the boat as well. And this is just an amazing day. We couldn't have asked for a better finish to the Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. I tell you, the entire sport of bodyboarding is so stoked to be back here in Tahiti. We had a great event, and we are, hey, if we could start the next year's Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge for 2017 tomorrow, I think everybody would be on board. Let's just go right into the next event.
All right, looks like we're setting something up right now.
Fred, all the Tahitians, not to mention Jared Houston, the world champ. You know, Maury Laverne, 2-time world champ. The guys I had to surf against were just nuts. So I just felt privileged to be out there with them, and to come away with a victory after each heat was special enough. But to win this contest is just, mind is blown. This is like a dream of mine since for 20 years. For 20 years, it's been a dream to win this contest. So now to win it, it's amazing.
The
Dreams came true.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
thank you so much. Congratulations again.
Just want to say, good job. Thank you to all the Tahitians, all the sponsors, Sparkgreen, everyone that put this event on, Max, the Vidal Surf Club, everyone associated with the APB Tour that gave all their energy to make this event happen. It was really difficult, and they put on an amazing show, and we just are so blessed to all be around riding these waves with them, and hopefully we can surf Tahiti with the Tahitians for years to come.
And today was cool.
It was beautiful. Sun was out.
Yeah.
We had a great time, and I just want to say thanks to all my family and friends. I love you, Ingrid. Love you, Mom and Dad, and all my family back home. Just thank you guys for the support, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Love you both.
Congratulations again.
Bravo, merci beaucoup. On va passer avec Cédric Estol tout de suite. Révatoire, on traduira après ce qu'a dit Jeff Hubbard. Alors, t'es avec
coming into the beach right now with, it looks like...
Et comment tu te sens? Tu étais quand même contre Jeff, mais bon, après t'es deuxième, mais c'est pas grave.
Ouais, pas grave. Je suis content aussi. Et je suis content d'avoir fait contre lui, quoi. C'est le champion aussi, ça, quoi. Ben voilà, je suis deuxième, mais je suis content. Pas mal.
Et tous les Tahitiens sont fiers de toi, hein, n'est-ce pas?
All right, congratulations one more time. Oh.
L'année prochaine, tous les Tahitiens qualifiés. Hein?
Voilà. Avec Angelo aussi.
Un mot sur les vagues? Comment étaient les vagues?
Il n'y avait pas trop de vagues. Enfin, il n'y avait pas de vagues en fait pour moi, quoi. C'est pour ça peut-être. Et voilà, c'était juste ça, quoi.
Bon ben voilà, hein. Bon ben félicitations les gars.
Bravo, bravo, Révatoire. On va vous suivre. Merci beaucoup à Jeff.
All right, congratulations one more time for Cedric Astal, the Tahitian, and the winner of the event, Jeff Hubbard.
And look at the interview boat going mobile. They're coming, they've made quite a distance from the channel, and that's just fascinating to get a interview while moving.
So the question is, why are we not on that boat? Or that boat right there? That's the boat we want to be on. That's the party boat. Or I think that is the interview boat. Roy Overstreet, Garth McGregor, Sean Peterson, and Jared Houston making their way to the beach right now. I'm going to see if Garth McGregor wants to have a beer tonight. I think it's party time here in Tahiti.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he didn't want to join you. But this is just a killer moment. This is historic. Look at Taure. He wants to reobtain his comrade, his good friend, Cedric Astal. He's jumping up on the ski with Taure right now and sharing knuckles with Jeff. Jeff might even jump on there too and get a ride Jeff's going to jump on with Max again, the preferred carrier of Jublin. And this was cool. You know, Jeff didn't have an easy road. Neither of these competitors had an easy road to get here. It was a battle.
Yeah,
Take us through round 3.
Yes,
who did he battle?
So Jeff Hubbard, your winner of this event, started off where it really mattered in round number 3. Jeff Hubbard faced off with the Tahitian Fred Temorere. And it was a close one, too. Actually, no, it wasn't too close. Fred ended up getting half the score of what Jeff got in that heat. But
Jeff posted up solid heat total of 16.17, so probably a pair of 8s or a 9 and a 7. Solid riding. That landed him into round 4. Who did he face off with there?
All right, well, in round 4 was probably one of the toughest heats he had, and it was against former world champion from Reunion Island, Amaury Laverne. They call him Maz, and that was a close call right there for that heat.
This was the buzzer beater. Remember, both riders had the exchange. Jeff was in second place going into that final exchange. Maz caught a wave, and then Jeff rode a wave. Jeff rode his all the way to the inside, hit a reverse off the closeout section, got just enough points to overtake Maz. That landed him into the quarterfinals with Angelo Ferreira. That happened earlier today.
Yeah, that was Angelo Ferreira, the Tahitian. So this was the second Tahitian that Jeff had to face off before facing off another Tahitian in the final. But Angelo Ferreira, he put up a good fight, 12.10, and Jeff Hubbard, 14.50 in that quarterfinal. So, yes, Jeff Hubbard winning on and moving on to the semifinal where he met up with Jared Houston.
And that was another battle. It was pretty close, really exciting photo finish all the way to the end. It was Jeff who was able to take out Jared Houston with 14.27 cumulative. Jared coming just short underneath that with 13.5 points. And that landed Jeff into the final that we just saw completed. Jeff was able to put another 13 and mid 4.3 total there to overtake Cedric Astal. Wow.
Yeah, Cedric had a pretty fierce fight too. I mean, he faced off with some big hitters as well. Cedric Astal first faced off in round number 3 with the Basque Madman. This guy was one of the most fierce competitors on the tour, Alex Uranga, and I really thought Cedric was just gonna just be a face that we're gonna have a little blip on camera and disappear, but no, Alex Uranga unfortunately succumbed to Cedric Astal's rage.
And Cedric put up a 16.43 in that heat, solid, and that landed him into round 4 where he battled Julien Miramont, and he put up nearly 14 more points. Julien unable to take him there. Then we met personally in the quarters, and he was able to narrowly defeat myself as well as move through to the semifinals where he beat Mike Stewart.
Oh my.
Mike Stewart had an interesting run to get to that point, and that's where Mike Stewart's campaign came to an end, where he lost that semifinal as well as the podium final, finishing in 4th place. Cedric Astal moved into the grand final, runner-up for the Tahiti Sparkgreen Challenge.
All right, check it out, Dave. We do have the contestants coming down to the beach, and I hear everybody clapping. Everybody's stoked. I believe we do have Eric Apple down on the water's edge, so whenever you guys are ready, take it away. There they are setting up right there, Jeff Hubbard, Eric Apple, and oh my goodness, it's pretty exciting times.
Certainly is. There's the spectacle happening on the point. That's the view from the tower, but we have a view just a few houses over out of the
16th Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge. It is none other than the man from Kauai, Jeff Hubbard. Jeff, this has got to be one of the biggest victories in your long line of victories in the bodyboard tour.
Totally. Like, this is a dream of mine for like 20 years to win down in Tahiti and these, Chopu. This is like pipeline to me. This is incredible in the South Pacific. Tahiti's my favorite place in the world to come, and the people are just amazing. So to win here is just unbelievable, and just wanted to thank God and to thank my wife and all my family and friends and all my sponsors, Hub Arts, Identity, Bomber Eyewear, Air Swim Fins, Virtua. Everybody, just thanks, guys. You guys.
I still got more questions for you. It's not the only one, buddy. So tell us, Cedric has been kind of the giant killer, taking down some bigger guys. Yeah. I know you're a confident rider and you're confident in your abilities, but there had to be a little nervousness. Like, man, he's taking down Mike and some other big guys. Is he going to do it to me?
Totally. I mean, you surf against a local Tahitian and the rider at Chopu. They surf out here every day. They know the lineup better than you'll ever will. So, you just had to just be confident and just try and surf your best and see what happened. And he was killing it all event, and to come out on top over all the riders was just a dream. I mean, I had to surf against Amori, two-time world champion, Jared, Angelo. He's one of the best Tahitians out here, Fred. I mean, I was just stoked to win every heat.
Now, how complete of a victory was this for you, Jeff? Like you said, you surfed against Amori, you surfed against Jared, you surfed against a Tahitian that made the finals. It's got to be a pretty good story for you.
Yeah, this is just a storybook event for me. You can't script it better. It's just one of those things you dream of, and come away with a win here. It's unbelievable. I mean, just the feeling, winning a contest against the best people in the world is just phenomenal.
And tell us, how proud you are of the APB Tour and the bodyboarders and everyone here, Alex, the Tahitian government, Sparkgreen, for making the event possible here at Chopu. How much does it mean for the sport?
It's huge for the sport. Those guys, Sparkgreen and Alex, the APB, and the Tahitian Federation, the Vidal Surf Club, everyone put in so much effort here. It was unbelievable. They just put their heart and soul into this event, and we came away with a beautiful finals day, and I think everyone walked away a winner. Even though I may have won the ultimate prize, but I think everyone was the winner. And bodyboarding itself is probably the best winner overall now that we have an event at Chopu. And man, we're going to see some amazing stuff in the years to come. And just it's nice to have this under my belt, this psyche.
Well, there you have it from the winner himself. Also, congratulations to Cedric. Also, our other semifinalists. Everyone doing a great job here. Eric Apple throwing it back to Manny and your brother, David, in the booth.
Yeah, Dave. Thanks, brother. Love you.
All right, well, there you go. It looks like your brother giving you shout-outs, saying hi to you.
So sweet. Great job, bro.
So, yes, now joining the likes of Ryan Hardy, Guilherme Tamega, and Damian King, Jeff Hubbard.
Jeff Hubbard, fitting champion of this event. I must say he did participate in some of those previous events that we've had here.
Yep.
He has experience not only at Teopo, but other reef breaks in Tahiti. Beloved by the Tahitian people, and just a class act, as we could tell with that interview with Eric. Just a real genuine fella. Lots of appreciation and gratitude flowing out of him. He's stoked to be where he is right now, and he's just pumped and elated. And I tell you, all the Hubbards are, for sure.
There's going to be a party in Kauai, too. So congratulations to Jeff Hubbard, Cedric Estelle, and third place podium finisher,
Jared Houston.
Yeah, so Cedric Estelle, we saw a nice clip to there. And if you want to keep riding Teahupo'o, still want to keep riding, we do have the bodyboarding video game, The Journey Bodyboard. By you riding, go to iOS or Google Play Store, type in The Journey Bodyboard game, and we do have this event still going on until May 2nd. And here's some action of what went down in the final.
Yeah, just some classic replays. This was the action that brought it all home into the grand final. Jeff surfing a really smart heat. He put it together, and I tell you, he is really observant, and he is really aware of the conditions at most times, and he was able to come away with the V, the big W, the victory here.
That's right. Look at another nice invert right there from Cedric Estelle. And JG board giveaway is still going on. If you can share the link on the APB World Tour Facebook page as many times as you can, you will be in contention for a free JG board. Jeff Hubbard sneaking under the lip right there to clocking in more barrel time, as you saw on a wave that happened in the final.
Yeah, nice carve there. Just, starting to get near to the victory lap. He had to hold on to that priority in the final seconds of the heat, but he surfed it so smart. He got some of the best tube rides today, and he had some of the better scores of the day. 8s in his first 2 heats and a 7 in the final. There's a nice tube ride, and it was these final heats that the competitors really had to push it and go for these inside sections, whether it's pulling in on the inside or hitting it.
Yeah, here's some more of the action that went down in the final. Again, that is your winner right there of this event, Jeff Hubbard, and then Cedric Estal. You saw him trying to piece something together, riding waves all the way to the inside section, showing no fear, even though the waves were breaking in shallows 1 feet deep. There they are, top 2 finishers of the event, Jeff Hubbard and Cedric Estal. I think we got room for one more competitor, 3rd place finisher, Jared Houston. And look at all the Tahitian dancers. I've yet to see, well, no, we did see it in this opening ceremony.
This is awesome. Beautiful. There it is, the pull-in. Wow, look at that. That was one of the maneuvers of the event almost, but it took place after the grand final finished, so it wasn't scored. But just an amazing event coming to an end, and it's almost bittersweet. So sweet, but at the same time, it's like, we don't want to leave.
I'm sorry. Yes. So, I mean, no, we're going to wrap everything up, but I want to make sure I got everything dialed in. So, yeah, I mean, this has been an amazing event.
Certainly has. We're so stoked that the 2016 Sparkgreen Tahiti Challenge was a huge success. Thanks to viewers like you for tuning in on APB Tour Live, for participating and being a part of the social media as well, and to all the event sponsors. I want to take the time again to thank the Vaira'u Surf Club, OPT, FTS, Air Tahiti Nui, TNTV, TBS5, the entire Tahitian government brought on board with the sports minister, who's got to be stoked at how their athletes, the Tahitians, did here, as well as ISS, Bodyboard King, and JG Bodyboards, as well as our various partners. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, and our media partner, You Riding, Magic Seaweed, for their support, and as well, don't forget APB 10 if you want a discount on Bodyboard King and the JG board giveaway. Again, stay tuned and watch on APB World or APBTour.com for all the updates, and we're going to have the highlight reels from all the days, and you'll see that on the YouTube.com APB Tour. And I mean, that's it. We're going to Brazil next.
See you in mid-June at the Itocajiara Challenge in Brazil.
You nailed it. All right, you guys. On behalf of the entire APB World Tour staff and everybody here, Eric Apple, David Hubbard, Manny V here, we're out of here. Boom!